Hello, Facebook family. Hello, Facebook friends. And to my Canadian friends, I will say Happy Family Day. And to of course, my friends in the U.S., I have to turn around and say Happy President's Day. This is just a random video, and I'd like to talk about opportunity. But first, I'm going to read you a poem. And it's kind of a poem that I have found out it helps out in life, period. It says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at the evening when I counted my scantily store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask, but once you have set the wages, why you must bear the task. I work for a menial's hire only to learn dismay, that the wages I asked for life would have surely paid. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Ann. Hello, Ted. I'm glad to see everybody here. I just want to get on and do one of the things I found out during my life, and I hope you all don't mind me sharing this, is that opportunities, wasted opportunities, and opportunities that we have in our lifetime. One of the things I like to ask this question, do you know the difference between you and a billionaire? It's a simple answer, and it doesn't take a lot. But the really simple answer to that question is simply because one took better opportunities. One took advantage of his opportunities. Others don't take advantage of all the opportunities that you want. We always talk about the things that we can have in life and some of the things that we want. But how often do we really take advantage of our opportunities? And here, I'd like to share a little something with you. You attract the people in your lifetime who really want to do something if that's what you want to do. You want to turn around to start self-promoting, personal development. What have you been doing with your life in your personal development? How have you changed your life in doing some of the things that you wanted to do? How is your personal growth? Are you still finding yourself in the same place you were, how about 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even last year? What changes did you make in your life that said that you wanted to do something extra special? What are those changes that you've always wanted to do, but you've held yourself back? And it's simply because we have not taken the opportunities of our life. We either take the opportunity or the missed opportunity. Either which way it goes. Life is all about a lot of decisions that you make. Some will be good, some will be better, and some will be just off the chain, and you'll learn from it. If you look in the mirror of your life and just look in the mirror at yourself, what do you actually see? When your reflection of what people see all the time, you're the actual thing. Everybody comes in your life, they're a mentor or a coach. And what you learn from them, they're in your life for one of three things. They're in there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's up to you what that person should be. Some people who come into your life, you know that they're a nightmare. We hope that you learn to get rid of them as fast as you can. Other people come into your life to kind of teach you something, to help guide you. And then you surround yourself around some people who will guide you, and it will take you to a higher plane in life. And that's because that's your choice. And you have to learn how to make decisions and to make better choices as you go along. And all of us do from time to time. You have to let God be able to show what your brilliance in life is and how you can step into it. And I posted something earlier talking about what you've always wanted. Persistence gets you all the things that you've ever wanted, something that you will constantly go on further and further. You won't hold yourself back from persistent action. I looked at myself about in December 2017. I was diagnosed with having diabetes. And I had to change my life. I had to start making some type of major change in my life. I had to do with self-development, a self-growth. And when I attracted diabetes, that actually scared me. Everybody has something in their life that scares them, that they want to make a change. And that scared me, so I knew that I had to make a change. And what was that change going to be? Well, it was first about my health. And, we can talk about opportunities of all types, but I had an opportunity to either get sicker or to start doing something and working out and exercise, and I had to lose weight. I was actually 60 pounds overweight. I didn't know it. I didn't really look at myself to say, "Ooh, Lester, you're getting quite heavy." Although most of my weight didn't go around my entire body, but most of my weight went right into my stomach. So I had to find something out that was going to make a change. So a friend of mine that I have a great amount of respect for, his name is James Dentley, and he has an honorary doctor's degree, so I now call him Dr. James Dentley. And I'm going to be with him this weekend in California, Hollywood, California, to be at a city gala, and we're going to get to meet a lot of the stars and talk about business and opportunities and what you'll take advantage of. And I was asking myself, would I take advantage of it? Well, how I met James, we were doing a network marketing, and there are always so many different network marketings, and I've been in network marketing for over 30 years. I started out with Princess House Crystal, and I've done Anway, I've done, I can't even count them. I've done so many. But I started in this business 5 years ago, and that was with this company. I'll just give you the initials of TLC. And TLC, started me out in about health products. And I needed to change my health products because now, once I attracted diabetes, I needed to start doing something that was going to make a major change in my life. So this ISO T, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. ISO T basically starts you out with something that you need to detox. This summer is coming up. Everybody, this summer is coming up. And I needed to make sure that I made a major change in my life. So Dr. Dentley was telling me about his issue with this and what he was going through in changing his life for making sure that, how do I say this? Okay, let me tell you about James. James had sarcoidosis. We're talking, I know about 5 years ago, he was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. He was almost 180 pounds overweight. He weighed approximately, I want to say about 375 pounds. And he was also had sleep apnea because of just health problems. So he and I started talking about the different things and what he used to help him change his life. So I needed to find something that was going to help change my life, and I needed to make sure that I detox. And then I'm not going to turn around and tell people who are thin who believe that they do not need to detox. We all need to detox. We all have been eating some of the bad stuff in life. Ever since they started changing the foods, the FDA says, this has this has that, and we've all got something. And we have to start taking better care of our lives. So what are we doing? So James told me about the tea. He said, Lester, if you start drinking this tea, you can change your life. You can start working to get healthier. So I started drinking the tea. But of course, I first made the tea, and I didn't read the directions. So I took the bags out of here, and I made me a cup of tea. And let me tell you, when you're detoxing your body, it's best to read the directions. I didn't read the directions, so I made a cup of tea, and it kind of held me into the bathroom just a little longer than I had planned for. But I finally read the directions, and with this cup of tea, after reading the directions, it told me, Lester, make a gallon with these two things of teas. So if anybody is interested in detoxing, if you like, hey, leave me a message. I'll gladly send you a sample of what this tea is about, because we need to learn how to do something about our bodies. We're looking at this summer. This summer is coming up. What are you going to do this summer to get healthier? A friend of mine and one of my major mentors, he tells me about his daughter and doing beach body. So I'm looking like this right now. So these are the things I'm doing for myself to start getting my body back in shape. So I will be doing his daughter's beach body, and him himself, he's amazing because I've seen him have a discussion inspiring me, running on a treadmill. I'm talking running on a treadmill, and he's inspiring me and talking about what life would pay for. So at the beginning, I started out with a poem saying, he said, I bargained with life for a penny. What are you bargaining with life for? Are you trying to get healthier? Are you trying to get stronger? Are you trying to do the same thing the same way, expecting different results? But it told me if I only bargained with life for a penny, life would pay me no more. I know that I need to make sure that I strengthen my life and strengthen the things that I want to do in my life. So at the evening, when you finally sit down at the end of your day, what did you find out that you actually had? And if it's nothing, what are you doing to have nothing? It said, life is a just employer. Well, this is your life. This is your opportunities. What are you doing with the opportunities of your life? Life will give you what you actually ask for it. But once you've set the wages in your life, why you must bear the task. That means you have to work out. You have to turn around and finding ways to get yourself healthier. I'm finding my way to get healthier. I'm using a product, and they have not just the tea. The tea is just one of the products that we talk about, just one. But it has so many different type of health products inside of it. I was telling you again about James. Well, he had, and I repeat, he was 375 pounds, and he has lost, we're talking almost 120, if not a little bit more than that. You should see the difference of him. He is healthier now. He no longer has sarcoidosis. And you know that's scarring tissue. He no longer has sleep apnea because of the weight and all of that goes along with that. Because he started doing what? He started changing his life. He started looking for what the tasks are in life that you must do. And when you're doing something special for your life and you're trying to get healthier, I've gotten healthier. I went from having a 17 A1C to now I have a 4.4 A1C. So basically they're saying I no longer have diabetes. That was amazing for me. That was the change in my life. I had to do something that was going to change it. This is not a health product, but what it did do is help me detox my body, to get all that mess inside of my body, to cleanse my body. The summer's coming up again. I'm going to tell you, this summer is coming up. What are you going to do to detox your body? Because you know today you've ate something that you shouldn't. I know I will, my favorite food is the one food that I'm never supposed to eat, and that is, of course, French fries. I gave up ice cream. I gave up cake. I gave up cookies. I gave up junk food. And I'm still a French fry-aholic. So I'm not saying that you can get rid of all the stuff that you eat, but this will help change your diet. It will start doing something so that way you can maximize what you want to look like for the summer. Because already, you remember at the beginning of this year, you turned around and looked at yourself and you said to yourself, self, I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to get healthier. How many of you all fell off by the 17th day of January? January 17th, fell off your exercise bandwagon. How many of you all are walking, running, jumping? How many of you all are just sitting right on your couch talking about what I'm going to do? And I'm going to do more and more of it. This summer, if you want to start going on a change, I invite you to join me. And I invite you to join me in using this detox tea and the other health products. I'm going to put in here a line in which, for some of you all, from which you can actually go in and read this and learn something about the product. Find out what products work for you, because some of us have health issues. Others have a way we just want to always stand tall and look good and not be confused about how we will present ourselves. Your life, again, as I said at the beginning, is a mirror. How are you going to look into your mirror and change your life? What do you really want to do? Do you want to sit there and say, I'm going to, and find out the only thing that you are going to do is to remain doing what you've always done and say that I'm going to do it some more, I'm going to do it? When you tell people that you're going to do something, that means you'll probably never do it. I'm not talking about the business aspect. If you like this product and you say that it works for you, get into the business. I'll give you a phone number. You can listen to the opportunity. I'm not going to beg family and friends to do anything. I'm just going to share an opportunity. What did I say at the beginning of this? Your first opportunity. What's the difference between you and a billionaire? Is the opportunities that you take advantage of. That's it. What opportunities have you missed? What opportunities are you going to take? If you want your opportunities, stop lying to yourself. Stop just sitting there talking about I will, I might, I should. Do it. That's what life says. And be persistent in your actions. Make a decision to do something for yourself greater than what you think that it is. When you make a decision, they said you should reach your decision promptly, but change it slowly. That means that you're going to have to work to what you want in life. Be it if it's riches, be it if it's health, be it if it's joy, happiness, kindness. You have to look at one of the greatest things that this president has done for us is see that we have to take advantage of our opportunities before he takes them away. This president is saying that you can't do this. He's the smartest person in the world. Well, that's the way that he looks at it. But when you're looking at yourself, you can be the smartest person for you. Take advantage of network marketing. Network marketing makes more money than the automobile industry. It actually makes more money than the sporting industry because they've been doing this for years and years and years. I've retired, and one of the greatest things about retirement is that I have a salary for life. Most people don't. What are you going to do after you've retired? Do you have any money set aside? How many of you all, by a raise of your hands, or put the number 1 in the box down here, actually has $2 million actually saved? Now, if you don't actually have $2 million that's actually saved in your lifetime, how much do you think that do you actually need in your lifetime to make sure that you have money? And how many of you all say, oh, I can't work for it? Again, you beg with life for a penny, and then you wonder why that's all you have at the end of your 30 and 40 years of working. Network marketing is the easiest way to become an entrepreneur, and it's actually the cheapest way. You can go and buy McDonald's if you happen to have that $2 million, and you can start your own franchise. But if you don't learn how to work it well, you'll be $2 million less. Most network marketing businesses only start with a couple $100 that you have, that you'll spend, and that you'll throw away anyway. But if you learn it with a team, and the right people backing you, and the right people talking to you, to let you know that you don't just go to family and friends. You open your mouth. If you want to be fed, this is the only way you can get fed, to open your mouth. If you're not, you'll just be putting food there and nothing. So I'm asking you now, I'm telling you, see what you can do to get healthy. See what you can do to build your body. And again, don't look at because you're thin, you don't need to detox. Yes, you do. You really do. But I just wanted to come on for a moment and start letting people know that I've been a part of several different network marketings, and I'm part of actually 3, because it gives me busy time. It gives me something to always live for. What are you doing? What are your habits? What are your hobbies? Learn new habits. Learn new hobbies. Learn to do something greater than you expect to do. Yes, I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I've done some things since I've retired that I never thought. I'm also a podcaster. Yes, I have a podcast that's on iTunes, and it's called Unlimited Boundaries on iTunes. Or if you want to listen to my Podbean, I have unlimitedboundaries.podbean.com. Yes, I do more than the average person, and I tell you why. Because I expect to do more in my life. I surround myself around people who lift me up. I surround myself with people who want to believe in personal development, personal growth, and having a better mindset. I have a mastermind group who actually tells me, hey, keep going forward, be stronger. These things that you actually want in your life, if you get the right people in your lifetime, you can have everything that you've ever wanted in life. But if you sit and do nothing, you'll have exactly what you bargained for. So as I close here, and I'll close reading this poem again, and I hope that you actually get the understanding of what this poem says. It says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scantily store. For life is a just implorer. It gives you what you ask, but once you set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire to only to learn dismay that the wages I asked for in life, life would have truly paid. Do you want to be a dollar heir or a millionaire? It's up to you. You take the advantage of the opportunities that come your way. But I do want you to get healthier. I do want you to help those who are around you to get healthier. Try this detox tea. I'm going to put a feed in the bottom of the comment line for those of you all that may be interested. But if you're not interested in the product, at least be interested in taking a look. See what they have for you or someone else that you love. You all take care. And I thank everybody who are coming along. And I love each and every person who's coming along. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Shireen. Ooh, I got a lot of people thank. Thank you, Mr. Gordon So, for being such a great mentor and friend to me. Dr. James Dentley, I thank you for coming along. And Kimberly and Trisha, I really love each and every person. You all have helped me greatly. And hello, Cheryl. I'm so glad that you were able to come on. Faye, my dear, I have to call you my niece because I love you too. So to each and every one of you all, take care and have a fantastic rest of your day. And remember to tell yourself repeatedly, I am amazing. Bye-bye for now. Everybody, today is my second film or Facebook Live. And I want to talk about living passion on purpose. What are some of the things that you've ever wanted to do? Are you actually out there living your passion? What gives you the right to live your passion? I've been noticing for years I was into policing. I enjoyed policing. It was one of the things that I never really thought that I would like. I was doing it when I first got onto the job because I needed a paycheck. Like most of us, we need that paycheck and we're living for that particular paycheck. Why are you into a job just because you're receiving a paycheck? Are you living, your passion? What are you doing? What are some of the things? Some of you all have jobs that you're really passionate about, that you really love, and you really, really want to do. Some of you all are working to become an entrepreneur. How are you doing that? Are you starting your life, figuring it out, that living that life on purpose? I moved out of Chicago, love the city of Chicago, will probably always love it my entire life, but it wasn't serving me to live out the passion that I wanted to do. So I wanted to become an author. I took my time in my life to say, how do I become that author? What do I need to do? So it gave me an area to move out to Arizona and say, okay, Lester, start writing, start putting a sentence together. Yes, it was difficult for me to even put one word together, yet alone turn around and write a book. But I started to living my life on purpose. And I again ask you, what is that thing? If you like, please put in the chat. What are some of the things that if you had an opportunity to do it, what would you do in order to live your life on purpose? Now, inside of being able to write, I wanted to become a speaker. I became a speaker. I became a paid speaker because I love being able to run my mouth and talk. Now, some of you all don't really know that I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. I'm basically a quiet person. I can sit in a room with a crowd of 100 and still be quiet all during that day, but I will learn from each individual there. And then there's some days I have to go out because people make me shy. So being a speaker, I know I have to be on stage. I know I have to shine, but it was one of those purposes that I wanted to live my life on. Now, becoming an entrepreneur and the things that I wanted to do, because I've always wanted to start my business, and not just a business in writing, but now a business in speaking, and now an entrepreneur in multi-level marketing. And I was in LA last weekend, and I was able to have some great talks with some amazing people. I don't know how many of you all may know Jeff Hoffman. Jeff Hoffman used to be the president of Priceline. And you're talking a multi-billionaire, and he sat down and had breakfast with me just as a general conversation, not anything special. He didn't have to come and sit down and have breakfast, but he decided to come and sit with me to have breakfast so we can talk about the different things and how, what my life was being a first responder and being that person who wants to set out and start to getting to know people, starting to learn what your life actually entails. So after talking with him, then I ran into another superstar who really just, blew my mind. It was somebody I've been following forever, and that was Mr. Les Brown. I sat down at the table with him and also, talked with him for about a good half hour, which surprised me because, you don't get much time with people that you're idolizing in some type of way. So I got a chance to talk with Les Brown. I took a picture with him, and he was all about, you have to be hungry. You have to have that thing that you always wanted, and how are you going to follow it? And it's called living your life with your passion on purpose. So Les told me that. So I had two people who I was having a conversation with. And then I'm having another conversation with both my mentors, coaches, and friends, Mr. Gordon Soule and Dr. James Denley. And they were explaining to me all that I had to do in order to live that passion, in order to go after what I really want. So I'm finding myself going after what I want. I'm finding myself in the ways that I'm gifted to use my gifts, my talents, my understanding, and start sharing with the world. In short, living my life on purpose. When you're guided to live your life on purpose, it no longer has become work. It no longer is any type of work. It's just living. It's smiling, laughing, joking. It's the things that you can have in your life that you need to go after. Now, a lot of you all are trying to make a paycheck, and I'm going to throw this out as a commercial. When you look at network marketing, and people tell you that you should be a part of some network marketing, I don't care for some of you out there that are interested in doing the CDC oils, the hemp oil. Some of you all are finding that you're with discount brokerages, that you're network marketing. Some of us, and I do use us, I am in a business that deals with health products. I had to stop and think about how I wanted to say that deals with health products. So I'm going to throw out the commercial, and it's going to be, go to www.shop.totallifechanges.com/Lester007. The reason that I bring that out, I needed to change my health. That's just bottom line. I needed to change my health, and I needed to find out a way to change my health, because after retirement, I decided to become lazy, really lazy, and I was eating my passion. And my passion was eating ice cream. How many people out here, passion is eating ice cream? Some of us is eating cake, some of us eating pie, some of us eating just general sweets. How about, it's great to have all of those things, but you're supposed to have it in the best quantities. You're not supposed to overeat them. You're not supposed to be going crazy. Well, for me, I went crazy. I went absolutely bonkers. I was eating ice cream probably about 1.5 pints every day. And I loved eating ice cream. I had to have it. So in December of 2017, I decided that my ice cream would be, that I would do this. And then in December, I had dryness in my mouth. It was so dry that I didn't know what to do. I ran to the dentist and asked her, what's the problem? And she says, I've never seen anything like this. So I now have left my dentist and I go to see my general practitioner. And she also tells me, said, Lester, you will now have diabetes. Your A1C is at 17, which was crazy, which meant that I was purely diabetic. And your A1C is supposed to be anywhere between 1 and 4. Just to let you know, if it's anything above 4 to 6, they consider to be pre-diabetes. Anything after 6, you are a diabetic. Now, whether it's type 2 or type 1, you always have to go to the doctor to find out. So I was doing that thing, and I found out, of course, that I was overeating. They were showing me by my blood test how long it took me to start getting this and what was my contributors. So after I found out I had diabetes, I changed my diet. I had to lose, between 50 and 60 pounds. I lost it. I came out to a new place. I started exercising like I'm supposed to, and I started eating right, and I needed to find out that I needed to detox. I need to detox that mess that stays in your system. How many of you all know that really detoxing your system is one of the most important things that you can ever do? There are things that live inside of your body, and I'm not going to be crazy and to push it all out there. But there are things that live inside of your body that if you don't clean them out, it makes you unhealthy. And you need to find something that's going to, excuse me, I know I may have blanked out for a moment, but you need to get healthier and healthier. So as I was researching, I wanted to live my life on purpose. Not just going out to be an entrepreneur, but here was an opportunity because I went to go do a detox, and I had to get this detox tea. And it was called from Total Life Changes. The actual tea is called an ISO tea. I know this may be a little bit backwards, but I'm going to bring it up a little closer. ISO tea. And doing this ISO tea, because I was exercising more, I knew I needed to have supplements. I know I needed to make sure that my body got cleansed because it was important for me to cleanse my body. So once I started cleansing my body and I found out my A1C went from 17 back down to 4.6, I was very, very happy. Even though that I'm still slightly diabetic, my eating habits have changed. But what happened to me once I started detoxing my body and getting the right supplements? So I found out that I needed to be part of the product. Not just to turn around and buy it as, to keep my body clean, but if I'm going to keep my body clean, what can I get? What should I do? And how do I get paid for doing the thing that I'm going to do anyway? So I got involved with a network marketing company called Total Life Changes. And being a part of that particular company, I learned something about a few other people. And they're not making any medical claims, none at all. My mentor, friend, and coach, Dr. James Dentley, he decided to tell me a little story about himself. He had cancer, and he had sarcoidosis and sleep apnea. So he started detoxing his body and using the other supplements of the company. So he became, inside of this company, he became that person who wanted to live his life on purpose. So he started marketing the product from Total Life Changes. Now, some people want to come into the business just to sell the product or just to buy the products. Other of us who need to become an entrepreneur decided that this is another way and another income. So no matter what network marketing business that you become a part of, I'll tell you right now, once you start living on a single salary, you only have one source of income, and you need to make sure that you have an additional source. I'll always tell anybody, get into network marketing. Get into it as soon as possible, because it may cost you anywhere between $100 and $1,000, and some are way more than that. But if you need to learn how to do a business, you need to learn how to do any type of business. It's so important that you learn how to do it with people who are doing the business in which you want. You want to sell art, you want to sell cars, whatever you want as your entrepreneurial business, you need to surround yourself around people who are doing that business, so that way you stand a chance of becoming more successful. Most people fail in business within 2 to 5 years of when they start. Reason being because they've not surrounded themselves around people who are doing the business. And you need somebody who's always going to lift you up and guide you, coach you, and mentor you. That's why network marketing wins. Network marketing is almost $1 trillion business. Sports do not bring in as much money as network marketing. Selling, automobiles from car shop does not bring in the amount of money. Even combined, they don't bring in as much as network marketing. So my advice to you all, find someone's company. Have them teach you the skill sets, because in business you have to learn how to get customers. You also have to learn that when people tell you no, it does not necessarily always mean no, but it may mean not right now. I may sell Total Life Changes. I may be a part of the product because I need the help. I needed to lose the weight. I needed to cleanse my body. I needed to do the things that was necessary for me to live a long and everlasting healthy life. What are you going to do for yourself? I always tell you, and I'll leave you with this note, live your life on purpose. Have passion on purpose. Do the things that you want to do, but be healthy while you're doing it. So until the next time, and you can catch me on my podcast at www.unlimitedboundaries.podbean.com, or you can catch me at iTunes, Unlimited Boundaries, iTunes. So I want you all to be able to see me, to hear some of the stories that I'll be sharing with you. I'll tell some police stories. I'll tell you relevant things, but I want you to be a part of what I do. I've met some amazing people, and especially to all my Canadian friends, I love you because you all have helped me more than you'll ever know. And to Queen Gabby, I really appreciate you. Lucky, I'm glad to see you again, and I haven't talked with you in a long time. Kathy, I love you. I'm so glad. Mimi, thank you for coming along. To all of you all, to Patricia Lynn Stokes, Natalie Cousins, Gordon Soul, Dr. James Dentley, Dr. Cara Dentley, for all of you all, Jeff Hoffman of Priceline, to Mr. Les Brown, who is also following me. Yes, have a conversation. Live your passion on purpose. To you all, take care. Have a fantastic day. And to my brother Joe Mosley, and to my sister Diane Mosey. I love both of you all, and Joe, I hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful birthday. You all again, take care, have fun, live your life on purpose, stay brilliant. And to my new business partner, Chantel Simone, wait to see what magic that we're going to bring to the world. You all take care. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Hello, everyone, and how are you today? Listen, I just came on Facebook Live just because I just felt that there are certain things I want people to start doing. And this is a random thought moment. Every day we talk about how we're going to better ourselves. And we always suggest that to get up and we're going to do. Have you ever actually made out a list of the things that you want to do? In the beginning of the year, every year, you say that you have resolutions of the things that you want to do. And I've always asked the question, why do you want to do something special? Why is it that you wait till January 1st to do what you want to do? Have you written down some of those things in life that you ever said that you wanted to do? Have you followed up on those things that you've always said you want to do? Why are you holding back from doing those special things in life? Every one of us has a story, and we have our own truths that we're going to actually follow up on. And I've decided that I retired from the job just a couple years ago. Hey, Marie, how are you? And having that opportunity to retire from the job, I had to reinvent myself. So I wrote down some things I wanted to do, and I began the process of doing it. Now, most of us don't know exactly what we want to do, and after retirement, that was me. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, but I had a few things I wanted to accomplish. So I sat down and I made a list of some of those things I wanted. And my list included that I wanted to be an author. So I had an opportunity to become an author, and I became an author. I wrote in a book, Empowering Women to Succeed, and I became an international best-selling author. That's not to impress upon you. It's just one of those things I decided I wanted to do. And now, with doing that, I wanted to be a part of another book. So I am now a part of another book that will be coming out in next year called 365 Empowering Stories. Having that opportunity, I said I need to grow and to do something special, because one of the worst things that you can ever do, and hey, Art, how are you, sir? One of the things that if you wanted to do something, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are the things that you said? How are you going after some of those things? Well, I want to become a speaker. And that's on me because that's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to get out, want to be on stage. So I decided to write down the things I wanted to do, and I started following my dreams. In order to get better at it, I needed to find myself a coach, and I needed to find myself a mentor. It's not that everybody can't speak and everybody doesn't want to have that chance to speak. It's that if you want to do something, how are you doing it? Are you procrastinating, always telling yourself, I'm going to do something? I found out that no, we don't do it. We don't follow our dreams. We always have an excuse for why we don't want to do something. We always have an excuse why we can hold back. But what happens when all those excuses run out? You have no more alibis. You know, when you start to believing in yourself and you're no longer just frustrated with some of the things that you want to do, and you found out that you have to have some type of structure. How are you getting your structure? How are you going about moving? I started to find in myself I needed a desire. What was my desire? To learn how to speak. I found a coach. That was part of my desire. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to start using my imagination and trying to do something special. I want you all to start looking at what you want special, working on your personal development, your personal growth. What's in your mindset? What are the things that you've always told yourself daily? What are those things that you put in your mind? Do you put goodness in your mind, positive messages, or do you listen to people who complain every day? Are you following the people who complain? If they're only complaining and they're not doing something greater, that means that they're satisfied where they are. I've decided that I wasn't satisfied in being used to pulling up Facebook, finding another fight, finding somebody complain. We had just an occasion for everyone to go out and get the vote out. That was important because you wanted to make sure that your voice was heard. It's still amazing to me that of all these people here in America, we're not just talking about all around the world because they have a chance to vote, but here in America, you had a chance to get the vote out and you want to elect these brand new officials. It still had a voting turnout of only 40% out of all the Americans here. 40%. And then 60% will complain about what the 40% did. If you wanted to change somebody's idea, somebody's thought, you are always talking about your desire to do something. What happened to your desire when you did not go out and vote? You told people, oh, I'm voting. The few of us, went out and we got bands and said, I voted. We need not to be able to have to do that, but we're encouraged to make sure that our voices are heard. How is your voice being heard when you're the person that didn't go out and do something? Every year you talk about what you want to do, how are you going to do it, but what effort are you putting to the things that you actually want for yourself or even those that are around you? You have children right now who are under, I shouldn't call them children, but they are from 0 to, we'll say, 17. You can affect their lives for the rest of their lives by encouraging them to do something special and to tell them that their dreams, their aspirations, their goals are something that they have an opportunity to grow in and to do something special. If you are the person that's an adult, and say some of us a little bit older adults than others, but if you can encourage someone and help them follow their dreams and their aspirations to teach them something, why don't you? Me to come onto a Facebook Live, and I mean, I'll do it. I have no problem in getting out here speaking because I have something to say. Me becoming a speaker is because I have something to say and I want to share it with people. I have gone through my entire life following those who have taught me. I have gone through policing and I've seen some of the worst things that people do to themselves in their lifetime. And I've come out on the other side, and so can you. If you want to be stronger in your life and you want to do something more special than yourself, that means no more procrastination. Procrastination is the one thing that I have found in life that we all hold a part of. We say that we're going to do it, but we, just like resolutions in our year, in our lives, and that we do yearly. Hello, Mr. Gordon. So, just like, things that we've always talked about and we wanted to grow larger and bigger, why is procrastination at the head of our list of things that we want to do? We have that thing called fear. Fear and procrastination are cousins. We procrastinate because we fear that somebody else may do something better than us. We fear procrastination because it holds us into the most safe spot ever. That spot that says, I'm not going to do it until. If you wait until somebody else does it better than you, you miss out on some of the grandest goals in your lifetime. You can no longer be that person that waits. If you want to grow, you want to see yourself doing something, you have to get off the pot. You can't just sit there and talk about, I'm going to do it. I'll get around to it today. I'll get around to it tomorrow. Hello, my partner, Ms. Natalie Cousins. My partner talks about being in alignment with your assignment. I love that terminology. I waited to, this point in time in my life to make sure that I found what my goals were, what my desires were, and to start finding out how to do it. I did one of the biggest things in life that you could ever do to someone, and that was that I made a decision. Making a decision. Why in the world do you want to make a decision in your life? When you make a decision to change your life, when you make a decision to grow into something that you really want to grow in, that decision is the most important thing that you could ever do, is to make a decision. Stop letting procrastination pull you from that decision. Decisions are made by people who want something. You can't let someone else decide for you, because when you're making someone else decide for you, you did not make the decision. It's just that simple. When you make a decision, make it one of those that the only reason that you change your decision is to grow your decision. You don't listen to how other people look at you and view you, because your life is your life. And if you want to do something special with your life, that decision that you have made actually counts. It counts so much. Hello, Eloise. I'm glad that you're here. And I need to talk to you. I can't find your number so I can find out how Jeffrey's doing. But when you make a decision in your life and you're slow to change your decision, you actually start to getting the things that you actually wanted. Your your actions of your life are the most important things that you can ever have. People don't know what you're going to do until you act upon what your decision is. If your decision is to procrastinate, that means you don't actually have an action. You want to no longer procrastinate in the things that you do. You want to actually say that I'm going to take this step. If you've ever wanted to make millions of dollars or write a book, sing a song, do your best dance, you make the decision, you go out, you do something really special, and stop holding yourself back. When you're looking at who can help you, your imagination, the things that you put in your head, are the things that can begin you to change your life in such a special way that you don't know where it's going to go. If you want to do something in your life, this is what I want you to do first. Take out a sheet of paper. Write down on that sheet of paper exactly what you want. Make a decision to write it down. You're passing procrastination because you're doing what? You're making a decision and you're writing down your decision to go to do something special. So when you write down what you want, you start writing it out clearly. If you write your decision down clearly, you've used your imagination to clearly state what you want. Start working on that. Make an action toward the next step. And then be persistent about what your decision is. Be persistent in your action. If you see yourself growing, how do you see yourself growing? If you don't have a plan, what does the old saying goes? Either you make a plan or you fail to make the plan. If you plan to fail, it's real easy. Don't make a plan. But if you actually want to succeed, write down your plan. Make an action. Do something effortlessly in your lifetime. Use your brain. Follow your six senses. It's important for us to grow and to grow more powerful than we have ever thought. Have you ever wanted to know how powerful that you actually are? Write it down. Plan out what you want. The reason why so many of us don't achieve what we truly want is we don't have any direction. We don't have any focus. We don't know what that thing is because we're not deciding to master anything but stand around and talk about, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get started. I'm going to be ready. Well, today is day one. I want you to do those four things. I want you to get past procrastination. I want you to make a decision about what you want to do. I want you to take action in the things that you want to do, and I want you to be persistent. Those are the four things I want you to start doing and changing your life. Mine is being a speaker. I got a coach. I am practicing this skill. I am practicing it daily. I make sure that I practice it daily because as I'm growing, as I'm being able to tell somebody, being able to inspire somebody, being able to get them into doing something that they've never done before. Or maybe you have done it, but you weren't persistent in your action. Persistence actually gets you. I'll tell you a story real quickly. There was a guy in the book of Think and Grow Rich. His name is C.J. Barnes. C.J. Barnes wanted to become one of the gold mining millionaires of his time. And CJ always told himself that I'm going to do it. So he began a project of going out to the Wild West in Colorado, and he said, I'm going to be a millionaire. He found a little gold while he was there, and he said, wow, I'm going to do this. So he went back home. And as in going back home, he asked his friends and his family for money. And they said, okay, I believe in you. I'm going to go after you. So CJ went out, he bought all this equipment, he went to his goal. He started seeing this gold, and he started flowing in it. And all of a sudden, the gold stopped. Now what do I do? So he dug a little bit further, and it stopped again because he never understood what fault lines are. So he stopped. He had all of his equipment, and he stopped just 3 feet away from the richest thing that he could ever have in life. Just simple, 3 feet away. Are you that person that will stop just short of your goals because you didn't have a persistent action? He made a decision, but he made his decision because he thought it was there, but his decision to stop was on him. Are you trying to stop just 3 feet away from something that you actually wanted? Just 3 feet. Imagine you are less than 3 feet probably away from your front door. You're 3 feet away from turning this computer on and off. But have you stopped to find out what it is that you really wanted and how are you going to go about it? What was your idealism of doing this? It found out that he sold all of the things to so many different people, and to a junk man especially. And this junk man looked around and says, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be the person. I'm going to find out. I'm going to go get me a coach or a mentor. And he found out the information that he needed, and he drilled those 3 feet that Mr. C.J. Barnes did not go, and he became a multimillionaire of his time. Because C.J. wasn't persistent in what he wanted. He let someone, and something stopped him from reaching out and doing better in his life. I don't want you to ever stop. I don't want you to say, I'm going to stop short of something that I really want. Make a persistent action. No longer delay in the things that you want. So this was my random thought that I want to come on and just kind of share with you just for a moment. It's always interesting to me to see what you really want and how you're going after it. So until the next time, I'll come back on, you'll hear me, and I'll give you another story, and I'll see some other things I want you to start doing as in reaching your goals. Always remember, in reaching your goals, you have to make a decision. Use your ideas, write them down, have a persistent action, and don't let anyone, including yourself, talk you out of it. So until the next time, thank you for coming on with me. And I also do a daily podcast called Unlimited Boundaries. It's on podbean.com. So you can look me up and you can hear the stories that I have talked about inside of this. And I talk about it every day. So that's unlimitedboundaries.podbean.com. I'll just throw it here on the comment line so you all can see and follow me. I have other friends of mine. Her name is Kathy Hinton. Excuse me, not Kathy Hinton. Lord have mercy. Her name is Kathy Holiday. And she also has a podcast called Mobile Notary 24/7. Listen to her podcast. I have my co-partner. Her name is Natalie Cousins. And she also has a podcast. I have to know what podcast is, not just jumping out of my mind, called The Six-Figure Real Estate Agent. And if I don't have the name right, listen, just go to podbean.com and type in the name Natalie Cousins, type in the name Kathy Holiday, type in the name Mimi Smiley. She has Gratitude Groove. And my partner, Miss Patricia Lynn Stokes, will also be starting her podcast very, very soon. So I want you all to start listening to podcasts. You've seen the same television shows day in and day out. But what happens when you start feeding yourself a little bit extra in your mind? There's so many ways to start growing yourself, to start doing the things that you want to do. I want to see you start doing something before the end of the year is out. If you want to talk about network marketing, I'm in a couple network marketing businesses. Ask me. Ask me which one do you think that might best fit you. I'm not here to solicit it for you. I'm just trying to get you to do something special. There's a friend of mine, and he has a website that's called, let me make sure that I actually has his name. Patricia, I need you to help me out with the name of it. Documentation Beats Conversation. That's the name of his website. Go to Documentation Beat Conversation and find out why people are actually doing something greater than themselves and not saying anything. Because if you can't document your story, be it if it's on live on Facebook, because your documentation is it. Your face is your documentation. We want you to see you grow. So listen to the podcast. Go to websites. Start helping people out. Surround yourself around people who actually encourage you to do some things greater than you've ever seen before. So I just wanted to pop on Facebook real quick just to say hello and follow a few things with my random thoughts. So until the next time, you all stay safe. Find out something brand new and follow your dreams, follow your goals, and never stop. Have a persistent action. So until the next time, bye-bye for now. Thank you for coming along with me. Thank you, Patricia. I had to figure out Robert Hollis. His name dropped out of my head just as soon as I was about to say it. Thank you all. Love you. Bye-bye for now. Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening. I am Lester Bailey, and I'm coming on with a random thought. Have you all ever been interested in being an entrepreneur? Have anybody ever told you how and the best way of becoming an entrepreneur? It's funny when sometimes you get the words mixed up, but have you ever been interested in that? I've had an opportunity to become an entrepreneur after I retired from doing a job for 30 years. I was happy to change my life. I ran up and down the streets of Chicago, putting my life in danger, but I wanted to make a difference and change, and I want to start helping some entrepreneurs do something greater than they've been doing. I have started learning how to, of course, be a speaker. I've wanted to learn how to do that, and Dr. James Dentley helped me to become a speaker and to get a little more confidence. Everybody knows how to talk, but it's getting that confidence to stand up in front of an audience and see what they're thinking and what they would say, and I had to change those little things in my life. This coming May 14th, I'm going to be a part of, I'm saying be a part of, but I'm going to be in the audience of the Business Wealth Summit in Toronto, Canada. It's going to be on Tuesday, May 14th. It's an exciting time in my life because I love being around people who want to do more for themselves than stand there and say, I wish, I wish, I wish. Dr. James Dentley is going to be at the same event. And being at the same event, Dr. Dentley has had a program for years called Inspire to Speak. He's also an MLM, superstar. That's multi-level marketing superstar. And he also has helped many of people make it to $1 million. I'm like, that is just incredible. And this is from someone who once lived in his car. So he had to make changes in his life. So if you're interested in learning how to make some changes in your life, Dr. James Dentley will be with me at the Business Wealth Summit. He's one of the keynote speakers. And this is not one of those events where people are trying to sell you all types of things. This is not what that's for. It's helping you entrepreneurs get off of your assets and say, okay, I'm ready. I need a change. I'm only making $1 or $2, and I need to make more. Those of you all that have never been into any type of business and you want to come out with people who have been doing it and been doing a great job, and you need to rub elbows with people. I did this in California. I went to the City Galas and City Summit. Let me slow down. The City Galas City Summit. And being at this event, I got an opportunity to meet Les Brown, Wesley Snipes, Colin Powell, and I'm not talking about just meet them. I mean, I sat and talked with them and having this type of discussion. I met Jeff Hoffman from Priceline, and was the co-owner. I mean, we're talking, this man made billions of dollars, and yet he is still there being able to talk to people and having conversation and help new business people get in the right direction because they're there to talk with you. They're there to help mastermind. There's another gentleman who will be there as a keynote speaker, being John Shen. John Shen is amazing. He produced this movie called Think and Grow Rich. There's executive producer. Excuse me, I don't want you to think that it was a little bitty movie. Think and Grow Rich. Mr. John Shen was the executive producer of this particular movie, and he runs his own financial business, and he's also going to be there as a keynote speaker. If anyone out here has ever read the book Think and Grow Rich, you know what I'm talking about, the importance of meeting someone like him. For those of you all that have the book Think and Grow Rich and have done nothing with this book, there is something that you need to know. There's changes in your life that you have to have. There's something we call thought. I know everybody has a thought, and truly thoughts are things. And when mixed with the feelings of your burning desire, mixed with the feeling of emotion and faith, you can have anything in life that you really want. You can make changes. All you have to do is desire it enough to make the change in your life, to do something that you haven't done. Les Brown says, in order to get what you have never had, you have to do what you have never done. Well, I'm now doing the things that I haven't done. So I'm welcoming you all to join me at the Business Wealth Summit on Tuesday, May 14th. It's so amazing. I'm living down here in Arizona. We're talking Phoenix, Arizona, where the weather today happens to be very warm. For my Chicago friends, I won't say how warm that it is because you all will get mad at me. But for those of you all that live on the East Coast and those of you all live on the West Coast, you kind of understand what that is. And today, I want to also talk to people who are wanting to get into business. I invite you to start being a part of someone's network marketing business. Network marketing is a multi-trillion-dollar business. It's not just a fly at the pan type business. You may not know what it is that you want to do. I'm going to Canada and I'm going to open up and start showing the world what I have been doing for my multi-level business. I'm so happy to change my life that I can offer this. Now, I'm not one of the speakers, but you better believe those speakers that are there, that are masterminding, that will be there to help me to change my life and help you. You have an expert panel that's going to be there with Miss Natalie Cousins, Mr. Shabir Shawala, Miss Chantel Simone. I mean, I love listening to this woman. She is really the person that helps you learn how to live your life on purpose. I should have said with Miss Natalie Cousins, who is a six-figure real estate coach. You're going to meet Mr. Shabir Shawala, who is also a coach and thinker of the Think and Grow Rich. I'm talking about these are idealistic people. You're going to meet Rosetta Kuala, who is part of the Break Free. Just so many people. There are about 10 to 12 people. Miss Gabby Albert Adair, she's also going to be there and helping you learn how to declutter your life. I'm going to be there not just for the multi-level marketing. How about you walk up to me and ask me about podcasting? I am a podcaster. I do a podcast on a regular basis, and you can find my podcast on iTunes. I've called Unlimited Boundaries at iTunes. You can look me up if you want to learn how to podcast, how to change your business, how to enhance your business, to be able to talk to not just people where you live, but how about around the world? Podcasting is so much fun. Imagine, have you ever looked and said, I want to own my own radio station? I would like to have that and be able to talk to the world about my wisdom, the things that make a difference to me and how I can make a difference in the world. Come ask me, come talk to me. I'll help to start coaching you on podcasting. I have plenty of podcasts up there, and I mean a whole lot. And if you want to see, just go to iTunes and click on. It's so simple. How many people do you know listen to either talk shows or they listen to music in their car? If half the world is going toward podcasting, you see all of the actors and actresses that are actually out there. You see new business people who are doing this. You see even television anchors are now having their own podcast. Would you like to know how to get your podcast? And I'll help you to get your podcast. We can get you on Podbean as soon as possible. We can get you on that station to talk about the things that matter to you. So thoughts are things, and those are the things that are standing in your head. I want you to start looking at making a change in your life. Don't hold back. One of my best friends, Kathy, they call her Kathy Notary, and she has the Mobile Notary Show 247. And that is a great show for those of you all that are interested in learning that. You have Rosetta Kuala that has the Break Free. You have Miosha Smiley Wilson who has Gratitude Grooves. You have people who are out there. And until you start turning on podcasting and letting your mind just open up, it is so important to be there. My friend, my coach, my mentor, Mr. Gordon So, who is also listening here now, he has social media currency. That's right, you all, social media currency. If you'd like to find out why you're on doing a podcast and you can reach so many more people, I mean, he gave me a challenge yesterday. He says, I want you to talk to 100 people. And I said, I accept this challenge. Guess what? Today, talking to you makes one of my 100 people to talk to. And I'm going to see if I can talk to 100,000 people because of this, what I'm doing on social media. Talking to you here. I will talk to you on my Instagram account. I will talk to you on my podcast. I am so ready to make major changes in my life, because if you do the same thing the same way, expecting different results, you get exactly that, nothing. But if you're willing to change and you want to find out why we're going to these business wealth summits and touching people and talking with them and changing our lives, because guaranteed everything changes. Henry Ford made the first car called the Model T. You remember that Model T? And they said that was the world's ugliest car. But yet he made that car. And today you have electric cars. Not just the electric cars. You have cars down here in Arizona that are driverless cars. And they're on the street. And it's amazing to run by a vehicle and see no one driving that car. These are changes that are happening. What are you doing for your income in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, and after retirement? Because if you're doing nothing, expecting the government to help you all, guess what? Times are changing. You need to go with these changes and believe in yourself. Become that entrepreneur. Come with me to Toronto, Canada. The event's going to be held at the Westin International Hotel, or Toronto. It's still all the same. It's right there. It is right there. Come meet me. Come meet one of the women who have changed my life, Miss Shireen Francis. You have to meet Shireen. She's a branding coach. Matter of fact, she is so much more. She's a television host. She actually has come on to help change my life. And this is a millennial that changed my life. I want you all to see her. I want you to be able to talk with her. Talk to Mr. Gordon So. Talk to our expert panelists. They're there for you. Mike Kent, he is going to be there. And he's talking about it. You should see his Facebook page. And it's amazing to me when you start to thinking of the people who can enrich your life instead of you sitting there doing the same thing the same way. Come out. Come enjoy what that is. Because as you're enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. I want you to follow your dreams wherever they may go. And I'm not going to read the whole poem to you. And I can, because I had to learn that. That was just a challenge. So I challenge you to do more than you've been doing, especially for yourself. If you're an entrepreneur and you're not quite sure how to do it, just show up. There are so many of us that are there who are willing, ready to teach you, and you can come along. So you all have fun. I thank you for coming along with me. And listen, don't forget, I'm there to help you even podcast. You all take care. So on behalf, and I'll call this my sponsored ad, because I don't have to worry about someone else. This is my Facebook Live, and I can do that. I want you to go to Total Life Changes, and my website there, for those of you all that believe that your health is your wealth and you want your wealth to come a long way than where it is, go to www.shop.totallifechanges.com/Lester007. And for those of you all, again, who want to hear my podcast, go to www.unlimitedboundaries.podbean.com, or you can reach me on iTunes at Unlimited Boundaries. You all have a sensational and wonderful day. Show your brilliance. And for those entrepreneurs, hey, come out, learn something that you haven't learned. You'd be surprised what I've learned in a year. What can you learn in less time than that? Bye-bye for now. Talk with you there. And for all my Canadian friends, I will see you soon. My Los Angeles friends, I'll be there. For my New York friends, I'll be there. For my friends in Tennessee, I will be there. For my friends that are in Houston, and I know that you're having funny weather, I'll be there. You all take care. Love being able to talk with every one of you all. Stay strong and follow directions. Hi, Kathy. Hello, Maurice. Hello, Gordon So. Hello, Mimi Smiley. I'm just so happy to see people who have slid on in the last couple of minutes. You all take care. Bye-bye, everyone. Catch the replay.
Well, good morning, all of you all. Happy Thursday. I believe today is Thursday. Yes, Thursday the 30th of May. I'm out doing my normal morning exercise. So what's on your mind today? What are some of the things that you feel that are important to you? My friend Kathy always says your health is in your wealth. Excuse me, your health and your health is your wealth. So that means that she is out here making sure that she takes care of her health and her wealth by, what are you doing for your exercise? What are you doing for your body? Why do you think it's important to take care of your body? It's simple. It's the only one that you're going to get. If you don't start exercising your body and exercising your mind, so that means what are you feeding yourself, mind, body, and spirit, then that means the success that you're going to have in life almost seems a lot harder. You can have a certain level of success, but when you want to take your mind, body, and spirit to another level, you must start to feed into it. You must put the work in. Now, I know exercise, it means that you have to get up and do something. You can't just sit in that chair, even though that chair and that couch is so comfortable, and all you want to be able to say is, I got my favorite spot. But if you have a permanent indentation in where you are sitting, that means that that's where you've been there too long. You should not have a permanent indentation into anything. Good morning, Glennis. Good morning, Mr. Gordon. So we want to start working out your mind, body, and your spirit. Now, walking helps me, but I have a book called Think and Grow Rich that I have a closed group on, and we talk about how we feed our mind. The mind is important. The name of the book, of course, is Think and Grow Rich. Why is it that we talk about thinking and growing rich, and we're not always looking at, I'm going to make thousands and thousands of dollars? If you don't take care of your health, you're not going to make your thousands, your millions, and your billions of dollars. You have to put that effort in. Inside of the book, we start talking about desire. What is your burning desire? What is that thing that you've always talked about that you want to show the world that I can do? We tell ourselves from time to time of the things we can't do, and then we start to making a doubt. A friend of mine, Carlos Segeda, said, if you learn to doubt your doubts, then anything is possible for you. In the book of Think and Grow Rich, they said, if you can think it, you can ink it and achieve it. Are you writing it down of the things that you want to do? If you want to get out and start exercising, if you write on your to-do list, exercise, that'll be the one thing that you start carrying out. And your desire for exercise and getting healthier would be the thing. If you desire that you want wealth, then that means that you have to start writing down. What is your idea? What is your imagination starting to tell you that you can make a change in your life and you can be successful? There's nothing that you cannot be successful at. Some things are a little bit more challenging than others. And there will be time that you have what we consider a temporary defeat, meaning that you didn't do as well, but you never learned to give up. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. When you talk about your desire and the things that you want, write it down. Write it down and have a place that you want to say, hey, I can do this. And good morning, Kathy, and good morning, Sam. We're going to talk about as we exercise. It's not that I love exercising. It's not my first love. But I had an illness of diabetes, and I wanted to change what that would be. So that meant that I had to get up and I had to exercise more. Why? Because I wasn't exercising, and that was what the thing was. I wasn't burning off the extra sugars in my life, and I had to make a change. So what was going to be that change? My first change was to give up a lot of the bad things that I was eating. Second change was to put more good things in my system. I thought that that was important for me. So I wanted to do that. Now, third thing on my list was to get up and exercise more. While I was working, I would exercise on a regular basis. But the moment I retired, I did like most people. I had a decision to do nothing at all, and I was doing well at that. So I wanted to start to see what that was. So now I got into being able to do some extra stuff. I had a burning desire in my earlier part of my life that I wanted to make certain changes. And that desire was to be able to write a book. So guess what? That was one of my first projects that I did when I retired. I became an international best-selling author with the book series Empowering Women to Succeed. I love being able to do that. That was one of those things on my check-off list. That was a burning desire. What is your burning desire? What are some of the things that you want to do? I have now a very good friend, Chantel Simone, and she says, your wealth is in your purpose. What is your purpose in life? What are some of the things that you really want to do? You know, we always ask ourselves, what do we want to do? But we don't take any action. Without action, nothing is possible. Without me taking these steps on this walk and talking about exercising, it would not be possible if I did not turn around and get up, make a decision to get out, make a decision to walk. Yes, I may walk excessive for some people, and that's okay because that's for you and this is for me. I'm on my 8.5 mile of walking. Why do I want to walk 10 miles? That was my choice. That was my purpose. That was my desire to make sure that I can do something far beyond what I would set a limit to. I don't set the same limits on myself as I used to. I've learned to start living more of a life that says you can do it. Live your life limitlessly. So I listened to a friend, coach of mine by the name of Natalie Cousins. And Natalie once said to me that you must get in alignment with your assignment, what you want to do with your life. You must find out what your purpose is and take steps toward it. Well, everything that I want to do now is all about taking steps toward my goals. As I started telling you, the book Think and Grow Rich is not just a book of monetary needs. It's about anything that you want to do to succeed. You business entrepreneurs out there that always wanted to have a business, always talked about taking your business to the next level. How are you taking it to the next level? Are you dying with your dreams? And there's a cemetery is full of people who are dying with their dreams, their ambitions, their hopes. They're not going to succeed because they refuse to take action. How important is action? Action is important in everything that you do. Action really is the success in life. You all, excuse me, I have to run across the street. I want to make sure I got there. Uh-oh. They almost knocked me off for a second. But what are you really doing for your life? What is your major purpose? How are you thinking and growing rich? How are you succeeding in the areas of your life? I want to make sure that I succeed in every area. So I'm now putting effort, I'm putting the extra work. I am now working harder on taking care of my mind, my body, and my spirit. Hello, Reverend Lady. Hello, Natalie Cousins. I'm glad to see that you're here. I also want to do something extra for my health. We all eat every day. Sometimes it's the best food in our life, and sometimes it's garbage. The junk foods or the comfort foods. I shouldn't call them junk food because when you're hungry and it's the only thing that's there, it ain't junk, but it is comfort food. I want to start getting rid of some of those comfort foods that I was having, and I want to see what was in my body. So there's a YouTube channel that talks about the parasites in your body. What are you doing to get rid of those parasites? Well, I drink an ISO tea, and I suggest any one of you all that want to know more about this ISO tea, I challenge you all to look it up and then go to YouTube. Look up how parasites affecting your body. Are you cleansing that? I talked with Simone. I should say the Simone method. I talked with Chantel, and she's like, you have to start getting the things out of your mind that's been holding you back, your limiting beliefs. What did you do to get rid of your limiting beliefs? My friend and coach, Gordon So says, you don't have the luxury of a negative thought. That was one of the most powerful things I've ever heard. You don't have the luxury of a negative thought. If you look at what your negative thinking will do, be it if it's in your mind, your body, and your spirit, that means that you're not succeeding. You're letting something slow you down and letting something take away the joys that you can be having in life. You need to start looking at what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what turns around encourages you, who encourages you. Everyone that's listening to my voice, you need a coach and you need a mentor. One or the other, someone who will guide you, who will take you to the next level of your life, be it if it's your mind, body, and spirit. Your health is your wealth, and your wealth is your purpose. Show everybody what you're going to do, and then tell them. I can tell you I can walk 10 miles a day, but if I show you that I'm doing it, which will you believe more? What I'm doing or what I'm saying? Your mouth can say anything, but what do you really want to show the world? So I thank each and every person for coming along. If you want any information about the tea, I will gladly tell you about it. But I will see you tomorrow, because I believe in passing on the messages in life that let you know that you're not by yourself in anything. You may start out one way, but get a mastermind group. Help yourself succeed. Reverend Lady, I had to go back in here. Ooh, yes, replenish yourself. I like that. I have to make sure that I succeed in my life. And if I have you all as accountability partners, then I know that I'm going to do it. So get yourself an accountability partner in every area. Get yourself a coach, a mentor. Exercise your heart, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Until the next time, see you tomorrow on this distance of going a little bit of everywhere and not holding myself back on nothing. I love it out here. Today's temperature is going to be crazy. It's not going to be 100, but 98 is close enough to me. But this is early morning before I can get out and bake and all the rest of that stuff. This is how I love it here in Arizona. Yes, the sun shines brightly and there's almost nobody out here. But this was what makes it fun for me, because I started my journey getting rid of the diabetes I had because I needed to take a chance on myself and get my heart, mind, body, and spirit working together. So you all have a wonderful and beautiful day. Thank you for coming along, and I will see you tomorrow. And I love the statement here: everybody is brilliant. Now show off your brilliance. You all take care, and bye-bye for now. Hello, everybody. Wake up and rise. Wake up and exercise. What are you doing for your health today? I'm talking to my accountability partners. I have to make sure that I'm out every day, making sure that I get on my walk. A friend of mine by the name of Kathy Holliday, she decided that every day that you should be accountable for making sure that you eat right and you exercise, living your life the way that it's supposed to be lived. You know, especially the older we get, what do? We don't want to exercise. Good morning, Art. How are you? I remember when I was working, I exercised regularly. But when I retired from working, exercise was not my number one plan. It wasn't the thing that I decided that I wanted to do. I gained weight like everybody else does, and I had to get rid of it. So I started on my trek. I got up that morning and I said, all right, son, get to moving. Do what you have to do. So I came out here and I started walking. Now it's amazing. For the next 5 days here in the state of Arizona, in the Phoenix area, it's going to be 100 degrees every day. They don't have any shadow of rain coming anytime soon. So if you're not ready to get out and do what you're supposed to do early in the morning, you will bake like a potato. And I'm not going to do that at all. But I am going to get out and I'm going to do it. Good morning, Lois. How are you? I feel that, teasing you, Lois, I feel that I should actually walk to Casa Grande and come back. That's only about, 40 miles? That ain't going to happen. But it at least sounds good. But today I'm out. I'm making sure that I take care of my mind, my body, and my spirit by walking, by exercising everything, and getting on here and making sure all of you all that are my accountability partners are with me. This is such a good thing to be able to walk and exercise. Some people like to jog. Some people like to run. I'm not a runner anymore. In my youth, I would love to turn around and do it. My best friend and I used to run in the city of Chicago. We would run from 75th Street to 100, and from 75th and Jeffrey to about 100 in Corliss. So that was a long way. But we were young. We were just using our energy. How are you using your energy today? What are the things that you're doing for your mind, your body, your spirit? Does anybody have a good book that they like to read, that they would like to share? I mean, I love motivational books. I read them all the time, but I do read other books too. So if you have it, what is your favorite music? Because when you're walking, you may need to put your audio book on, and I do from time to time, or I listen to music, Or I do this, get on the Facebook Live. I'm walking around the University of Arizona right now, ASU, because it's just fun for me. It's a new track, and for me, what makes it so funny, I look like I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Let me just change you for a second here. I think it's cool. Hey, Derek. So this is my look of what I'm looking at right now. If you ever looked around and saw nothing at all, nothing around you. Now, I'm not going to walk over into the areas where I see nothing. They tell me that there's nothing crawling around, but I'm not going to take that opportunity to find out if anything doesn't belong here. If one of these things doesn't belong here, it would be me. Everything else, it wouldn't matter to me. So I've been reading, of course, the book of Think and Grow Rich, and I've been telling you all about how important it is for me to read the book Think and Grow Rich. We talk about desire and living your life on your purpose. If your health is your wealth and your wealth is in your purpose in life, what are you doing to increase your chances on succeeding in the area in which you want? In the book Think and Grow Rich, we first talk about that desire and how important it is to look at your desire squarely in the face and go after that thing that you want the most. Go after it with everything, your persistent actions, your definite chief aim in order to receive what you want will accomplish anything. The second chapter in the book of Think and Grow Rich, we talk about faith. Most of us talk about we have faith. We believe in God, infinite intelligence. We believe that you can conquer anything. But how do we really live our faith? Are we actually saying, yes, God, I know that you'll do this for me, but in truth, you doubt what you can do. You start doubting the things that tells you that you can do anything. Hey, Kathy, how are you? When you start putting your faith together, and even if it's the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. But if you don't believe that you can achieve anything that you want, if you're the person that's putting a limit on your life, how do you expect to go to the next level of your life when you're not putting that constant effort into your own belief? You say that you want to be wealthy, and you look at whatever your thing of wealthy is. Do you actually believe that, or are you just saying it? Because if you believe it, you live it every day. You do it every day. You strive to get better and better. I look at the exercise. I know I needed to lose some weight. And yes, I had been overeating, like most of us do. I had my French fries, which is my Achilles heel. That's my junk food. That's the one food that I have not gotten away from in all the things that I've been doing. I keep eating French fries. I got rid of most of my other sugars. You know, I don't eat any candy, no cakes, no cookies, no pies. Those are my friends. I had to get rid of them. But what I do is making sure that every morning, no matter what, I get up and I exercise. I exercise before breakfast. One, I have the opportunity, but why do I exercise so much? It's because that the older we get, we of course have to be able to maintain the things that we used to be able to do. Some of us will walk. I will walk, I will go home, I will do push-ups, jumping jacks, leg lifts. What else do I do? I also swim, I do squats, I do plank. What else? It's a couple more different exercises. Of course, the sit-ups and the crunches, which is a part of my exercise routine, because I know how necessary it is for me to be able to move all my body parts. My knees don't hurt, my ankles don't hurt, my shoulders don't hurt. Actually, nothing hurts me right now. And I'm going to claim that because I believe as long as I take care of myself, going back to faith, that I'll be all right. I'll be able to be successful in my lifetime. What is the journey that you're looking to do? How well do you believe in everything that you can do? If you can believe that you can at least get a program started and stick to it with persistence, your success in life increases 100-fold. But if you don't believe that you can take that extra step, that you can walk that mile, you can't. You are right whether you believe you can or you cannot. Either which way, all the time, the truth sets itself up and it shows you. So I want you to learn how to increase your own faith. Nobody can tell you what that level of faith is. It's something that is done all by yourself, for yourself. So I want you all to live your dreams, to live your purpose, increase your faith, begin to exercise your mind, your body, and your spirit. I talk about all the time, what did I have to do to get rid of being a diabetic? I had to exercise. I had to change my body. I started drinking the ISIL tea, and I talk about that tea because friends of mine have gotten themselves out of a lot of pickles because they decided that they were going to exercise, that they weren't going to stop. And I love that because they decided they weren't going to stop. I wasn't going to stop either. I was going to continue doing what I needed to do in order to work myself. Excuse me, here I'm looking for a friend of mine as I'm in this march of walking and talking and making sure that you all are holding me accountable just like I would hold you accountable if you want to get out and do something. So my inspirational group, I challenge each and every one of you all to show what you do and how you do those things. Hello, Dion. How would you turn around and do? How do you show up in your life? When people talk about your character, how do you show up? What type of integrity do you have for yourself? Integrity is important. Your character is important. When people talk about you, whether you're there or not, how are they speaking about you? Everything that we do has a cause and effect. The cause and effect, it's kind of funny when you look at that. Me not exercising, me overeating, caused me to gain weight, caused me to get diabetes, caused me to lose that younger figure that I had. Although the older figure isn't bad, but I remember what that younger figure looked like. And the one good thing that we know for sure, a mirror does not lie, as much as we like it to lie. So what do we do when we go to the mirror? We look at that mirror and we get away from it as fast as we can. And we tell ourselves, hey, that mirror did not tell the truth, but it's a reflection of what you do in your life. You need to put a mirror on everything that you do. How are you showing up to people? What is the thing that they're seeing about you? When you're living your life on purpose, and you've always talked about all of the things that you want to do and achieve, what did you do? What were your steps? What were your action steps? Your action steps in life are everything. Start out your day. Put on your to-do list. You're the first thing on your to-do list. You get up, you say your prayers, your affirmations. You get up and write out a plan every day. And then you write out an action plan behind it. How are you going to achieve your goals? It's important that you write it out and you actually look to say, I'm going to do something, whether you do it or not. Write it down and measure your results. At the end of your to-do list, you want to see what were your results and everything that you had planned to do. What was the purpose of it? If you want to live your life on purpose, you have to write out your desire statement. What does that desire statement look like? For everybody has a particular type of desire that they want. Everybody wants to accomplish a certain goal or a certain thing. What are you doing for it? And then still make sure you have an action statement. And say, I've been walking today. It says so far I've only walked 4 miles. So I only got 6 more to go in my entire day. I'm not going to do it all at once like I normally would do it because it's Saturday morning. But as we all know, if I'm going to hold myself accountable and I'm holding me accountable for this daily exercise, and I want you to exercise, I want you to make sure that you take care of the little things. And for those of you all that want to detox your bodies, to make sure that everything stays regular, and you want to get out all those toxins, especially if you're on any types of medicines, you want to get those detox out of your system as quickly as you can, because the good part works on the good part, but the bad part, if you don't have anywhere to go, it still stays in your system. So everybody, I thank you. Have a sensational Saturday. Thank you for being here with me, and I will check in with you the next time that I take a walk. If I take it tomorrow, I'll talk to you tomorrow. If not, Monday for sure. You all stay safe, have a lot of fun, and enjoy the 86,400 seconds of your life. Do something with those things every day. Bye-bye for now.
Hello, you late night people and you early morning risers. Today I'm going to come in here for just a little bit. I'm going to talk about a book that I have fell in love with. And it's an important book to me because it started changing my mind. I started viewing life differently. It's the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. To give you a short story on this particular book, Napoleon Hill was an investigative reporter during the early 1900s. And he was approached by Andrew Carnegie one day. He and a whole bunch of reporters, they had an opportunity to talk with Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie, for those of all you that didn't know, was a steel money magnate. He was steel industry. And he wanted to share his understanding with people on how to make money. Everybody starts to wonder how it is that some people are so rich and healthy and so rich and wealthy, and so many people are like, this can't happen for me. Well, Andrew said this can happen for him because he not only had an idea, but he wanted to share that idea with others. So he interviewed reporters and he gave them a 3-hour window to say, if you start this book, this is going to be an undertaking which is going to take you up to 25 years of learning how to think and grow rich. Now remember, part of the people must understand is, what do you do when you're thinking? How will you change your mind, and what will possess you into doing something a little bit unusual? And that's to sit down and think of how to get together and how to make money, and how to change your life by structuring it in a certain way. In order to do anything, you have to have a system. And what is your system for learning? What is your system for doing the things that you want to do? Everybody says it's impossible, it's hard, but you have to understand it. Everybody is saying the same thing and others have actually made it happen. What did they do that the others didn't do? I was once told, in order to have what others don't have, you must do what others don't do. Good morning, Brian. I'm surprised that you're up and out early, especially on Facebook. I'm just going to read the book, Think and Grow Rich. And I'm glad that you just stopped in. And how is everything going in the old 9th district? I miss being there. But I decided to come in, and I said I was going to read this book, and I'm going to start out with a few chapters. I'm going to do a little chapter a day, and it's about 15 chapters, and I'm going to discuss with you with some of the millionaires that I have met recently. I was recently in Canada at a Business Wealth Summit, and I met a gentleman by the name of John Shin. John Shin decided that he was going to executive produce the movie Think and Grow Rich. And he did it on a grand scale. He did it on his own dime. And that's really amazing to me when you're thinking about spending money on the thing that you want and why is it important. John Shin has made many, many, many millions of dollars, but yet he's one of the most approachable people that I've ever met. And then he was also with Dr. James Dentley. And Dr. James Dentley not just inspired, but he also talked about the wealth coming from beginnings that's he lived in his car to making millions of dollars. You're talking about just a change in your life. So here we go with the introduction chapter to Think and Grow Rich, the original version, the original 1937 version. Chapter 1. A man who thought his way into partnership with Thomas Edison. Truly, thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definite of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. A little more than 30 years ago, Edward C. Barnes discovered how true it is that men really do think and grow rich. His discovery did not come about at one sitting. It came little by little, beginning with a burning desire to become a business associate of the great Edison. One of the chief characteristics of Barnes was that it was a definite. He wanted to work with Edison, not for him. Observe carefully the description of how he went out translating his desires into reality, and you will have a better understanding of the 13 principles which led to riches. When a desire or impulse of thought first flashed into the mind, he has no position to act upon it. Two difficult things stood in his way. He did not know Mr. Edison, and he did not have the money to pay to get on the train to Orange, New Jersey. These difficulties were significant to have discouraged a majority of men by making the attempt to carry out one desire. But it was no ordinary desire. He was so determined to find a way to carry out his desires that he finally decided to travel like a hobo. Just jump on a train and said, I can do this. He presented himself to Mr. Edison's laboratory and announced that he was going to go into business with this inventor. In speaking at the first meeting between Barnes and Edison years later, Edison said, he stood there before me looking like an ordinary tramp. But there was something in his expression on his face that conveyed the impression that he was determined to get what he had come after. I had learned from years of experience with men that when a man really desires a thing so deeply and is willing to stake his entire future on the single turn of the wheel in order to get, he is surely going to win. I gave him an opportunity he asked for because he had made up in his mind to stand there by his success, his idea, his vision. Subsequently, the events proved that it was no mistake. Just when Barnes said to Mr. Edison on the occasion it was far less important than which he thought, Edison himself said so. If I could have been the young man's appearance in which he started out with in my office, for it was definitely against him. He had a thought that was so strong and so deep. If the significance of this statement could convey that every person who reads it, there would have no need for a remainder of this book. Barnes not only got a partnership with Edison in his first interview, he did not get a chance to work with Edison at a very nominal wage. Going to work was unimportant to Edison, but the most important part to Barnes because it gave him an opportunity to display his merchandise where he intended to be in partnership. Months went by. Apparently, nothing had happened to bring to convey the goal that Mr. Barnes had set up in his mind as his definite major purpose, but something important was happening in Barnes's mind. He was continuously identify his desire to become in business with the associate of Thomas Edison. Hello, Michelle. Psychologists have correctly said that when a man is ready for a thing, it'll put in his appearance. So we're finding out, especially in this book of Think and Go Rich, the major thing that you need in order to start your process in going rich is to have a desire to do so. A lot of people want to make money. A lot of people want to be in a position where they can see themselves doing something special. But when it actually comes down to it, your dominating thoughts, what you think about the most, what you think about all of the time, actually is the thing that comes true. Whether it's good or it's bad, you have to start protecting your thoughts. And you can't let people tell you or talk you out of the things that you want. The things that you want are for you. It's not for someone else. It's not for the smiles and the laughter of people. The things that you want are you. So C.J. Barnes said that he wanted to go to work with Thomas Edison. Now, during the early 1900s, Thomas Edison was not that person that has the fame that we know today. Thomas Edison happened to be an inventor. He was still working on the light bulb to work on that. Yes, Lattimore actually helped him build the filament a lot more, but it was what it took for him to go from the first stage, that desire. Somebody had to put it in their mind to make the light in which we're still talking about and through today. So as I further go in this story, Barnes was ready to go in a business association with Edison. Moreover, he was determined to remain ready until he got what he was seeking. He did not say to himself, oh, well, what's the use? I guess I'll change my mind and try to be a salesman. But what he did say is, I came here to go into business with Edison, and I'll accomplish this end to take the remainder of my life, and he meant it. This would have been a different story, would have been told if he had only adopted the definiteness of purpose. A man stands by that purpose until it is time for it to become an all-assuming obsession. What do you have that obsession with? What is it, the thing that you want more than anything else that drives you? You know, some of you all want to go into business, but how do you start? Where do you begin? You know, I began wanting to go into business, but I held a job as a police officer for years. But I didn't stop because I kept dibbling and dabbing in network marketing. And I've always wanted to do that because network marketing gave me an opportunity to start my own business. It also gave me an opportunity to be able to talk with several people because, what was this business going to do? So I kind of understand how Barnes wanted to go into business with someone that would change his life. Maybe young Barnes didn't know at the time, but he was a bulldog determination. His persistence in standing the back of a single desire was destined to mow over the opposition, to bring the opposition that he was seeking. When the opportunity came, its appearance in a different form from the different directions that Barnes had expected. This was one of the tricks of opportunity. It has a sly habit of slipping in the back door when often comes in disguise in its form of misfortune or temporary defeat. Perhaps this is why so many people fail to recognize opportunity. Are you failing to recognize an opportunity? Mr. Edison had just perfected a new office device known at the time as a dictating machine. Now it's an Epiphone. His salesmen, who were all sitting at the table, were not over enthusiastic about the machine. They did not believe that they could sell this machine without great effort. Barnes saw the opportunity. It had crawled in quietly, hidden in a queer-looking machine which interests no one but Barnes and the inventor, Mr. Edison. Barnes knew he could sell the dictating machine. He suggested to Edison and promptly got his chance. He did not sell the machine. In fact, he sold it so successfully that Edison gave him a contract to distribute and market all over the nation. Out of that business grew the association and slogan, made by Edison and installed by Barnes. Hello, Detrick. I know you're on your way to work. I'm reading the book, Think and Grow Rich. This business associate had been in operation for more than 30 years, and out of it, Barnes had made himself rich in money, but he'd done something indefinitely greater. He has proven that one really may think and grow rich. How much actual cash did that original desire of Barnes was worth to him? I have no way of knowing. Perhaps it had been brought to him $2 or $3 million. Can you imagine having $2 or $3 million in the 1920s, yet alone having $2 or $3 million in 2019? That would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $20 to $30 million. But at the moment, whatever it is, has become insignificant when compared with the greater assets he acquired from the form of a definite knowledge and an intangible impulse of thought that can be transmuted into its physical counterpart by applying the known principles. Barnes literally thought himself into partnership with Edison, and he did not know himself as a great fortune. He had another start with, except the capacity to know that what he had wanted, and he was determined to stand by that desire that he really wanted it. He had put in no money to begin with, but he had little education. He had no influence, but he had initiative, faith, and the will to win with these intangible forces that made himself the number one greatest inventor who ever lived. Now, that is one of the funniest stories when you start looking at when you have that desire and what takes it over. Why are you changing over to have that one thing in life when you have to begin with a thought to things? Now, as I kind of tell you a little bit more about the story, there's another story in here by R.U. Darby. R.U. Darby, at the time of the gold rush days, R.U. Darby wanted to be that multimillionaire. He had a desire to be very rich and very wealthy, and he thought his ticket was the gold rush. So he decided with his uncle to go out on a journey. And I love this journey because he went from wherever he lived out to the Wild West. He went to California and to start. So he got some equipment, he got his shovels and his pickaxes, and he went to work. He said, I'm going to do something, excuse me, extra special in my life, and I'm going to get this. So he went out, he started digging and digging and digging, and he finally hit the gold. He finally did that. He filled up a wagon full of gold, and just enough that get that taste of wanting more. He was like, I can do this. I can have my riches. So he filled it up. He took it and he kind of balanced it out, leveraged it out, got some money, went back home. He told his friends and his neighbors, hey, I found the riches of the world. I need to get some more equipment. I need to go get this and that. And, you know, his neighbors, they all invested in him because he had a burning desire. He had found what he wanted. He looked for that thing. So he went back and picking and finding, so just a little bit more gold, but he wasn't finding enough. Now, he looked and, you know, he was almost ready to give up, but he chipped in more, and finally, he couldn't find any more. He couldn't find any more gold. He decided that he needed to stop. What is the goal in your life? What is the thing that you're seeing that you really, really want, but because it looked so bad that you just gave up on it? Barnes had finally given up on a desire to what he really wanted. And learning this book and learning the principles of this book, I found out that just because something gets in your way, just because something slows you down, do you give up? Do you stop? Do you want to go further on? What is the purpose of what do you really want to do? I mean, you went back in, but he finally said, I just can't do this. Now his head is down. He goes back to tell his family and his friends, I couldn't get the gold. There was no more to be found. There was just no more. I mean, these are the thoughts that are in his head. So he took all of his equipment and he gave it to a junk man. And this junk man was not the ordinary junk man. He was a little bit smarter than the average junk man. He was just not collecting things. He was seeing the value of what he had. Good morning, Patricia Lynn. He was seeing the value of what he had. So he decided that I'll give this to this junk man. The junk man said, okay, thank you. Here's a couple $100 for all of your effort. I appreciate everything you did. But what did the junk man do? The junk man decided that he needed to find somebody that had more knowledge than him. Yes, I'm up very, very early. The thought of thinking we're rich was on my mind. But this particular junk man decided that he needed specialized knowledge. Why did he decide that he needed specialized knowledge? Most of us stop because we only get a small understanding of the things that we want. And good morning, Dr. James Denley. Now, this junk man got the guy, he went and got a surveyor. This surveyor turned around and looked at this wall, and he says, nope, I'm not in the group. He says, you're here. This fault line is what you needed to look for. See, this is what C.J. Barnes missed. He missed this fault line. Why did, if he had gone just 3 feet further, and he said 3 to 5 feet further, but 3 feet further, all the riches that he ever wanted would have been there. Most of the occasions in life, everything that we want seemingly is only a few more feet away. When you stop going after the thing that you want because it looks harder, it looks like there is no way that it can happen. It's like opportunity. Opportunity stands in your face all of the time. But do you take advantage of the opportunities that you have? If you don't know how to do something, what are you doing to get somebody else who knows how to do something that you lack in? Most of us have experience and knowledge in every area of our life, and we enjoy our experiences. We enjoy the things that we've learned about, but if we find ourselves not being able to do something, what is it that you need to do? Where do you go get this information? And this story of R.U. Darby stopping 3 feet away from gold, if he would have gotten a surveyor, if he would have found out somebody that knew something more than him, he would have changed. Good morning, beautiful. How are you, Randy? Now, all of you all, stop stating what you cannot do in your life. Learn to doubt some of the doubts that you have. Pick up this book, Think and Grow Rich. Go through the stories. Go through the imagination. This book has been around since 1937. If it's been around since 1937, and most of the wealthiest people in the world have read this book and they still talk about it, what would be the difference between you and the Jeff Bezos in life? A man that is very, very rich, very, very wealthy, but he bought a book, a simple little book, Think and Grow Rich, and stated in his life that he was going to change. When you're looking for the gold in your life, you have to first find out. You have to get a plan. You have to get something that's going to initiate your purpose, so that way that you can survive and you can get something really, really extra. You can go that much further in your life when you get the knowledge, when you find out what is the process. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to finally make sure that I'm going to read this book, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of stories about determination, about desire, about patience, about faith. I'm going to tell you about what you're putting in your mind, about your autosuggestive thoughts. I'm going to also include why do you need a mastermind group. I'm going to do this because it is now my desire to not just to read this book. I've been reading it out loud in a closed Facebook group for a while now. And I'm really, really happy that I've had an opportunity to come in to do something really, really special, to learn and to access the knowledge and give the knowledge is something that I've been learning. You're going to hear about the principles of Think and Grow Rich. You're going to learn how to master them, those who want to stay with me. For those of you all that this is a little bit too heavy and you don't want to stay, it's okay, because that's how I look at it. Everybody is not going to want to be rich. Everybody's not going to want to be wealthy. Some of you all that are right here want to stay exactly where you are. You're comfortable. I'm not comfortable where I was. I had an enjoyable life as a police officer, really, really enjoyable life. But there's life after retirement, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my everyday. I sleep when I want. I get up when I want. I move when I want. I got a part of my network marketing company, and I'm thriving in that company. Why did I want to thrive in it? Because it's a new challenge. What are you challenging yourself to do in your life? What do you see yourself doing? What do you see yourself doing today? What do you see yourself doing in 1 year from today? What do you see yourself doing in your life? And if all of these questions you don't actually have the answer, what is that burning desire? What is that thing you kept telling yourself, I want to do despite it all? And hello there, Pancho, Brother Barry. It's nice seeing you. All of you all, take time to read this book, Think and Grow Rich. Take time to learn what it is saying. It's never too late to start learning new habits. It's never late to start being able to follow your desires, to take your opportunities. And I'm going to tell you another story. Do I want to do it tonight? Yeah, I'll do it. No, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to come in on a regular basis, and I'm going to read the different stories about Think and Grow Rich. So you'll see in my tagline what it is of Think and Grow Rich. Hello, my BFF, Miss Vanessa, and good morning to you. You all, I want to have a fantastic and wonderful day. Some of you all may want to go back and catch the replay. It's all about your desire. A friend of mine, listen, she's on here now, and I'm going to talk about her. Her name is Vanessa, and she's also an entrepreneur. She has a company that's called Velvet Butter. She makes natural soaps. Natural soaps. Can you imagine starting your way to the riches and wealth that you wanted from your own idea of things that you've always wanted. We all struggle in different areas, but if you do nothing, you get nothing. But if you begin, you will get the success you're looking for in life. You all take care. We'll come back in and talk tomorrow. I'll give you a great story on persistence, a 50 cents lesson in persistence. Thank you all for coming along with me. And yes, I know it's early in the morning, but how do you take opportunity? Should I sleep it through and let somebody else take my opportunity? Should I get up and do like what I'm doing now? I'm taking the opportunity of Facebook saying that I can come in and talk to you any time that I choose. You all take care. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Bye-bye for now. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. Listen, today I'm going to be talking about random thoughts. One of the funniest things that I have understood recently is that people have a fear of doing certain things. And a lot of us, that want to strike out and do something different, like me, I started out doing something really small and really different. And I started out book writing. I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and I wanted to see what it was like to venture out into a new world. I was a Chicago police officer, and I retired from such a loving job. And how things are going makes you kind of wonder from time to time, what are some of the things that you want to do? So I retired from that job, and I started on my entrepreneurial work, and something that I thought that would be very, very nice for me to get started. Well, in my random thoughts here, I started working with a group, and we decided that we wanted to start reading the book Think and Grow Rich, and started living by the principles of Think and Grow Rich, which is by far one of the best things that I could have ever done. It was a brand new experience for me, and I just love in doing that. Oh, I see one of my business partners. She is actually here on the side of the page, which is surprising because she just had surgery, or she's having surgery. I hope that you're doing well there, Patricia. But anyway, in reading the book Think and Grow Rich, which has been a brand new experience for me, and I recommend that all entrepreneurs, each and every entrepreneur out there, actually take the time to learn how to become an entrepreneur and actually see what blueprints they are. And when you think about the philosophy of Think and Grow Rich, one of the best philosophy about the particular book is that we'll say that you actually get a blueprint. You actually start to understand some of the things that's really good to start your business. There are principles and philosophies. It's not just about growing rich financially, but it is for you to start moving in that direction. Some of us want to find out, hey, what are some of the things that we can do? What are some of the most important things that we can do about our lives? Everybody doesn't want to be a multimillionaire. I just don't happen to be one of them. Yes, I'm looking for, and I'll put this out here so that you all will understand, I'm looking to be able to make $1 million in a particular year. And I have what we call now a desire statement. And my desire statement is to actually make $1 million in 1 year. So I'm working on that process now. It should be completed by January 15th, 2020. I actually have that written down. That's just one of the things that I want to do. I want to be able to continuously read and work on the principles and philosophy as I plan to become a speaker. And I will be a speaker by January 1st, a public speaker, speaking on a regular and continuous and contiguous basis about learning to become a speaker. And, and actually to have written one more book. These are some of my goals in which I've really been looking for, and I can't wait to do. My business partners also have different things. Patricia Lynn Stokes, who's also with me, who is typing from a hospital bed. And she's got a project she's called the Dawn House. And she has another little entrepreneurial thing that she wants to do for herself. It has to do with colors and not just, looking at them, but actually putting them out there. Miss Natalie Cousins is also reading her book, or writing her book, and she also runs a business called how to make six figures in real estate. That's one of her entrepreneurial things. So as we climb above and we go forward with the things that we want to do in life, we want to see everybody move and grow in an area that says, hey, here you go, think and grow rich. Plan what you want to do. See some of those things that you want to do. Stop letting things stop you. Don't let anything get in your way to stop you from getting to your next step in life, because people tend to stop you when they want you to do certain things, but you have to find out, hey, what is it that you want? Don't stop in that thing of what you want. There is so much out there, and there's so many things to do. I'm going to see if I can find, I want to add someone on my thing here, and his name wasn't coming up, so I'm going to throw him out here on the book for myself, because we're going to talk about just what are your desire statements are, some of the things that you want to do, and how to get yourself out of your own way, because we have done that so many times. We've gotten ourselves in our own way, and we're not going to do that anymore. So I'm going to bring on my mentor, Gordon So, because he has been teaching me and helping me change my mind and see. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Gordon So. How are you?
I'm well, Mr. Lester Bailey. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. I am so glad that I learned a new trick that I never knew that existed. So thank you very much.
Wow.
I see you have on one of my favorite t-shirts.
Doubt never stops. Neither do I.
Doubt never stops.
Yeah.
So
PPW.
we're
wrong.
I love the PPW. I love the idea and just what it stands for. So
Yeah.
as we're moving along in life, and we want you all to really start getting in your head that when you remove doubt, even though doubt gets in your way and seems though it never stops, but you have to still have my favorite, that ants philosophy, that never stop idea.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
So
there's so many doubts and fears that sometimes it never goes away, and when it goes away, it creeps back in, doesn't it?
yes, it does.
Yeah. Yes.
And just let me let you know something. Miss Patricia Lynn Stokes happens to be on with us right now.
Hey,
Can you
Patricia.
believe she's there?
Wow.
She says she's back home and she's feeling fabulous.
Incredible. Incredible. Wow.
Yes. Just to let you all know, she had surgery today, and she is so committed to what we want to do for one another, especially teaching and inspiring others, not just to speak, but inspire you to think, to showing you that when you don't let doubt, when you don't let things, your distractions stop you, you are so incredible. You can go almost everywhere. The only place that you cannot go is wherever you stop limiting yourself.
Wow.
So we play no limits, no at all.
Yes, no limits, limiting beliefs. Yeah, Lester, you and I were chatting earlier today,
Yes, sir.
and one of the things that you and Patricia and Natalie have been so consistent, just consistently being consistent, which is so important, is every evening you've been reading a chapter of Think and Grow Rich. And you've been talking about each chapter, for over 30 days now. And for some of the folks who are watching the Facebook Live right now, you can relate to this. And so one of the things that Lester and I were discussing is, I'm not sure as you're watching this Facebook Live right now, you'll see the split screen, right, Miyoshi? Right? If you guys can, if you understand what I'm saying, if you can understand what I'm saying, please type in the word one. So I understand, Lester, understand. You guys understand what we're saying, because right now hopefully you're seeing Lester and myself in a split screen like this, right? Before, for the last 30 days, if you've seen Lester do the Facebook Live on the personal development page, it's like this way, right? So it's got Lester, and then in the top right corner, it'll have his guest. Is that Lowell? Did I say the name right? Lowell, right?
Lowell Hauser. Mm-hmm.
Lowell. So Lester was saying to me, well, I'm going to use a different technology tonight because he has an incredible guest. Folks, by the way, if you have never heard Miss Suzanne Hart, you need to be on this. exclusive Facebook Live interview with Lester tonight. I mean, she's been on stage with individuals like Mr. Les Brown. Can you imagine? And she's like a published author of a book called Leading with Character.
Yes.
And just a couple of days ago, I've seen her book for so many times now, Leading with Character, and it's got a picture of a pyramid. It's got a picture of a pyramid. I've seen this book for 4 or 5 years now. And I never stopped to ask her, why is there a pyramid on this book? And my friend Kula asked her, and I was listening. And she said, well, a pyramid is something that was built very strong and to last, right? Does that make sense? Like a pyramid is something that's very strong and built to last. And he says, that's what character should be. Character should be built to last. It should be strong and it should be built to last. So, you know, Lester is going to be interviewing Suzanne Hart tonight at 8:30 p.m. Is it 8 p.m. tonight? 8:30 p.m.?
It's 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Okay, so for those of you, you know, who are not part of that private Facebook group, you ought to be part of that group, right? Have Lester or Patricia post the link so you can actually go to that group, right, and get approved to be in part of that group where you can network with hundreds of other like-minded individuals. So one of the things that Lester was asking was, well, how come we don't have a split screen? And here's the neat thing, right? That's what a mastermind alliance comes into play, isn't it? Sometimes it's the simplest little things. Like, here's what I said to Lester. All you have to do now, instead of your phone like this, just turn it horizontal. And a light bulb came on. And Lester said, wow, is that all I have to do?
Yeah, just turn it sideways. Wow.
That's it. And I'm sharing that story with you because I've been like that. There's been some of the simplest little things that, you know, I'm scratching my head. It could be days and weeks. And then maybe my kids will say, Dad, you just push this button on your phone or push this button. And then, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Simple little things. And that's what our life is about, isn't it? Sometimes when we can't see ourselves, right? We can't see ourselves in the frame, but somebody else outside looks at it and says, wow, did you know? And we're like, no, we didn't know. And that's what's powerful about personal development and personal growth. So if you haven't been part of this journey with Lester and Patricia, Natalie, who's actually going to be vacationing with family in Jamaica, where we should be,
Okay.
we're going to be, you know, going through not just Think and Grow Rich, the principles, you know, Think and Grow Rich. It's about principles. So burning desire, right? What's your desires? What's your burning desire? Like, do you know what your desires are? Do you know what your definition of purpose is? Like, what is it that you're doing? Why are you doing it? And whatever you're doing, is your reason, your why, so strong that no one can ever knock you out of the box, right? Because it's so easy for us to quit. It's easy for us to quit in school. It's easy for us to quit in life. It's easy for us to quit in business. You know, that little idea of what I just shared with you in terms of, you know, Lester and I talking about, you just turn your phone sideways. I mean, have you ever been into you know, maybe gone on a vacation and you go to a hotel and it's late at night and it's dark and all the lights are off and you can't find the light switch? Can anyone relate to that? Or you've gone into someone's home, you can't find the light switch.
Yes.
And you're bumping and falling over furniture, right? Or bumping into walls, trying to find that light switch because you don't know where it is. And then once somebody shows you once, you're like, oh my goodness. Like every time you walk into that room now, it's like, here's the light switch. And that's the key to learning, isn't it? And that's the key to sometimes asking questions. Like, if there's something we don't know, well, part of the mastermind alliance, some of the things that you know, the 2 or 3 things I don't know, guess what? Lester Bailey knows. The 2 or 3 things that Lester doesn't know, maybe Patricia knows. The 2 or 3 things maybe Patricia doesn't know, Natalie Cousin knows. And when we add it all together, we have all the 10 skills that we need.
That is so powerful.
We have all the skill sets that we need, right? For riches, for abundance, for more joy, more love, whatever it is that we need, you know, in our personal and business lives. So, anyways, Lester and I thought, what are we going to talk about? Because all we really wanted to do was test if this split screen works. So I want to thank everyone for coming on and helping us test this, because, you know, I'll share my final thoughts and I'll let Lester jump in here. You know, knowledge, some people say knowledge is power. Knowledge isn't power. Knowledge put to use is power.
It's more powerful.
And sometimes, you know, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes we're too stubborn to listen to other people because we always think we're right. No, we're right. I'm right. I'm right. Can we relate to that?
Yes, yes.
When sometimes it's just a matter of saying, I don't know. I don't understand. Could you show me? And it can make our lives so much easier by soliciting the help of other people, especially coaches and mentors. And the shortcut, right, that they can give us is just unbelievable to being able to learn faster, learn quicker, apply our knowledge faster, get our results, you know, get to where we want to be quicker, or become successful quicker. So that's my story. I'm going to stick with it, like Les Brown says.
Well, one of the things we want you all to know, while we're going through the Think and Grow Rich philosophies, it always gives you tips and clues. And I shouldn't even say that. It actually gives you the blueprint for life. When you think that you have known it all, and I've read this book several times, but twice out loud, and even then I'm still continuously learning something brand new. So when you really want something, when you really want a thing, and if thoughts are things, what is that thing that you actually want? What is that thing that you see yourself actually having in your lifetime? Where are your changes? What are your habits? Do you have good habits or do you have bad habits? And in the book of Think and Grow Rich, it helps you change your habits. It helps you to start learning and understanding whatever that your habits are. If you're not looking to get better habits as you go along, then yes, stay where you are. But if you want better habits, you want to grow yourself into an area in which can grow you, to pick you up, to make sure that you're actually receiving what you've been thinking about. You're not holding back. You know, we've asked everybody in our group on many of occasions to say, make sure you write down your desire statement. Some look at it as write down your why. What is your why? Where are you going with your why? Do you really want it? Because if you really want a thing, you have written it down.
Yes.
You're not just looking at your dream. You're now looking at what you want, your goal, your result of what your dream has to become. We want to show you that as you're learning, as you're picking up these nuggets, as you're picking up something that will help lead your business into an area that has never been done before. I mean, for me, writing inside of a book was the first, I never thought of that other than that was my dream to do. And then one day I put it to action. And once I put my dream, I wrote it down, and then I put it into action. And what was the next thing that actually happened to me? I became a successful author.
A #1 international best-selling author.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
And doing that, you know, you don't know where you're going to go until you start putting down your plans. What do you want to do? And you have to learn how to organize your plans. So as we're coming on here, just giving you a random thought about learning to write down your desire, learning to have persistence. Did I come back? Did I lose anybody?
Yeah,
on the
you're
screen?
back. You were frozen, but you're back now. Yes.
Okay. Once you learn down what your persistence is, what your biggest thing to make sure that you stay with whatever that you want. You have to, you create an idea, you're writing it down on paper, you're doing an act toward receiving what you want, and you see your results. You know that you need not just you working by yourself, but with others. Me, Patricia, every chance that we get. And we're seeing ourselves becoming more and more defined. We're in alignment with our assignment. And as Patricia Lynn Stokes would say, we are now super stoked because we've actually learned that. Yes, we are.
Well,
the
three of you, Lester, yourself, Patricia, and Natalie, you guys are becoming the dream team.
Yes, we are.
The dream team. I mean, if you know, LeBron James couldn't stop you guys right now.
And he's got a brand new team. But
Yes.
listen, when you mastermind on what you want and you can see that desire, it doesn't stop from where you are. Learn
Yeah.
to get people around you who will lift you up.
Lift
And
you.
as these people lift you up, you would be so surprised. First thing I want everyone to get, if you have negative thoughts and negative people in your life, you need to get rid of them today.
Wow. Cut them off.
Cut them out. Start marking
Yeah.
them off because they're not going where you're going, and they want to act like this is a crabs in a barrel. They want to keep pulling you down.
Yeah.
You don't need anyone else to weigh you down in anything that you do. You want
Yes.
to exceed in all of your ventures and all of your goals and all of your dreams. You're going to find out as anybody who's really wanted to be a part of a personal development, because we're not just stopping here with a Think and Grow Rich, live reading.
Yes.
We have a new venture coming out very, very soon.
Yes.
And we want you to be a part of it. We'll call that, for you all, that here's a teaser, a PDF.
Yes.
And you'll see what it really means, because we're all about personal development, personal
Yes.
growth, and your mindset. We want to see you grow as we grow, because just because we're in this area and we've gotten started, where will we be in 1 year? Because I
Yes.
can tell
Yeah.
you, from reading the book twice in 30 days, it's 15 chapters.
Wow.
And we were surprised that the first one seemed like it was difficult. The second time we read the book, it was so at ease. I'm so looking forward to the third time that we read this book. And we're going to start it July 29th at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Personal Development, Personal Growth Mindset Group closed page.
Could you
Really, if you
post
want
that
to
link, Patricia or Lester? Could you post that link for some of our friends who are on here right now that are
Yes.
hearing about this for the first time and don't know about this private Facebook group?
Yes, I
Yeah.
will be posting it right away, because as you all see, and one of the reasons why we have such a page, because we found out the importance of everything that we're doing. It's not just for me. And anybody who thinks that we're just doing it just for Lester, it's not just for Lester. It's for an entire world, to change the world one person at a time. And you happen to be that one person that we're going to change, that we're going to help, we're going to produce you in such a way that you do some amazing things for yourself. I have, we started out with 3 people, and our group has grown, what do you say, about 600 times that amount
Yeah.
of 3 people.
It's
And
crazy.
it's constantly growing because we're not stopping. We don't have a reason to stop. We have not found a reason to stop growing. And as tonight, when I was speaking with Miss Suzanne Hart tonight, Suzanne Hart just didn't do just one book, but she did another called Fit Fab. Goodness gracious, I know this
And
book
fulfilled.
and Fulfilled. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
My mind went to a straight blank right there. Fit Fab and Fulfilled. And as we're reading this book, and as you're actually able to see why we have this particular book up here, is because she's doing things. She
Wow.
leads with character, and you have somebody who is amazing, who wants to go out and lead with character.
With character.
Imagine what you can do if you can lead with character on anything that you actually wanted. You can actually see that your results are in front of you. I often talk about results. When you're making your plan in life, be it if it's your business plan or your life plan, plan to see what it actually looks like with the results. Do you know the results of anything that you've done?
Mm.
What have you done today that you know the actual results of what you've done?
Wow.
Don't be afraid to have somebody analyze the things that you want to do, because it's important to analyze yourself. These are some of the things that I've learned in the Think and Grow Rich book. To analyze yourself, to be able to see where you are and what you're doing, because we're growing, we're growing,
Yes.
we're growing, and we're going to constantly grow, because that's a part of thinking and growing rich. Not just to sit up there and look at for the 1 second. We want to see how many seconds that you actually have. You want to
That's
see what a random thought actually is? Here's the random thought. What are you doing for yourself?
wow.
How are you doing what you think that you could do? Are you the best at it, or do you need improvement? What is
Wow.
your improvement?
Love
What
it.
is your
Love it.
improvement? So I
Wow.
posted a link in the inside of the page so everybody can actually look at it. I have with Suzanne Hart. And if you look in the comment line of the book, because that's why I was looking away back and forth, trying to make sure I had the right link and typing it in. It's amazing how you can do more than one thing at a time.
Yeah. Well, Suzanne's gonna be incredible. Again, if you're not part of the group, go on, ask to be invited into the group. Let the administrators know, what kind of value are you going to be able to bring to the group, so they will actually accept you, because we have to turn down certain individuals that want to be a part of the group, because we want to make sure that like-minded individuals are in this group. We've heard the expression, the people you hang around with is who you're most likely going to become. That's what Jim Rohn talks about, doesn't he? Right? And
Yeah.
we're known by the company that we keep. So who do we actually really want to hang around? Lester, you mentioned about so many times how important mindset is, and how important it is to keep out that negativity. And negativity, it's like our garden. It's like the weeds that grow in our garden, and they can just choke us to death. And then sometimes we have people in our lives, and we say, well, they may be negative, but they're my cousins. They may be negative, but they're my best friend. They may be negative, they're my kids. They may be negative, but they're my relatives, right? Well, just because they're related to me doesn't mean they need to be negative, right? No. And if they are, how do I keep them around before they choke me? And weeds, I'll share a quick story with you. My wife went to work one morning, and I thought, wow, she's got this beautiful garden, and I see all these weeds, and I pulled out a weed, thinking I just got rid of, so getting rid of the negativity. And then I pulled out another weed, and then I pulled out another weed. And then I got a bag, and I cleaned out like so many weeds in her garden that I was so proud of myself, thinking when she comes home from work, she's going to probably say, Gordon, thank you for doing all that gardening. And I was sitting there, I forgot what I was doing that evening, and I heard my wife say, Gord! Like, and that's obviously not the way she said it. I hope when you guys meet her, you don't repeat that. But when your spouse calls you your name by a certain way, you're in trouble, right?
Yes.
Sweetheart, what's wrong? And she goes, part of my garden looks like a storm ran through it. Like all my plants are gone. Like, what? It's like, I don't know what happened. Looks like either someone's walked through it, they pulled up all my amazing plants. And I thought, oh my goodness, do I tell her? And so, although I was pulling out weeds, I got so excited about pulling out weeds. Some of the weeds that I pulled out actually wasn't weeds either. They were actually plants. Uh-oh. So you can tell I ended up in the doghouse for a while there. But so it's important. Yes, it's important for us to pull out weeds, right? But it's also important for us to realize how important relationships are. So in our garden, like, just like in our garden, in our lives, in our personal lives, in our business lives, who are the people that we're surrounding ourselves with? Make sure that, you have the right people that you're surrounded with. And make sure if you're going to weed out those negativities, that you're weeding out the right influences or the negative influences that you don't need to be surrounded in your life. I'll end with this thought. One of my mentors who taught me a long time ago that every day above ground is a good day. Every day above ground is a good day. He also taught me something called SNIOP. SNIOPs. 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 He says, don't be a SNIOPs. So SNIOPs means don't be susceptible to the negative influences of other people. Right? Don't be susceptible to the negative influences of other people.
So everyone, as we close out, I'll let you know, you have 18,400 seconds in each day. What are you doing with those seconds that you have been given each and every day? You're above ground, and you actually need to make an action. So take that action out. Let's see what you can actually do and get ready for something brand new. Again, if anyone's interested in being a part of personal development, personal growth mindset group, let me, Natalie Cousins, or Miss Patricia Lynn Stokes know, and we can add you to the group. But please send me a message, direct message me. And by the way, Suzanne Hart will be with me this evening. So I look forward to interviewing her. I look forward to you all actually hearing some great information, things that can change your life, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but immediately. So be ready, be prepared. We really enjoy you and thank you for being on with us. Thank you for doing this test. And by the way, I had a Facebook challenge by Mr. Gordon Soul, and he says that I now have to be on Facebook 3 times a day. So if you think you're seeing me once is more than enough, guess what? Be prepared.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it, Lester. Thank you so much.
All right.
Everyone, have a fantastic day.
Thank you. Bye-bye, all.
Bye-bye.
And
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I had a 14-day challenge. I still have a 14-day challenge, a Facebook challenge to do a Facebook for 14 days, and I have now completed, or I should say by the end of this one, I've completed 11 days. The first day of the challenge asked me for believe. The next we did collaboration, compassion, courage, dedication, grace, gratitude, hope, impact, inspiration, and passion. And today, my thing today is all about patience. And patience is a strange word because we kind of look at it as to say that we can just wait for something. You remember when you were a little kid and you asked for something like cakes or cookies and what have you, and you would ask your parents, say, hey, may I have this piece of cake? May I have this cookie? And they would tell you no. The first thing they were teaching you is impatience. You always wanted to have that extra cake, that extra cookie, that thing. And your parents kept telling you no, no, no. But you weren't learning patience, you were learning impatience. And I remember me being that little kid, my father, he had brought home a crunch cake, a nice little beautiful crunch cake. And I can just still see it. I can still taste that crunch cake. Yes, I said, I can still taste it. My father told me I could not have that. So what he did, he was really nice to me. He left the room. I took my hands, I put my hands into that cake. I grabbed me a big hunk of that cake. I chewed in that cake and I had that, and I was with the biggest smile because I had no patience. I had the little bit of patience ever. So I chewed that sucker up. My father comes back into the room and he notices that there's a chunk of cake taken away from me, away from that cake. My whole piece, that whole chunk came over and I ate it and I smiled and I laughed. I was happy because I did not have patience to wait for that cake. So what my father decided to do, and this is a true story, what he decided to do was to make me eat that entire cake, that whole cake. Now, I don't know if it was still a whole round cake or it was half a cake, but it doesn't matter because I had to eat the whole thing. And of course, I was not feeling good for the rest of the night or the rest of the next day. I had to eat it because I didn't learn what patience meant. I could have had probably the whole cake to myself if I would have taken my time to have just waited. When patience comes into play in all of our lives is to learn how to wait and get that special thing, that special something that you've always wanted. Hello, Susie. We've always wanted to have that special thing. Now we start going through school and we can't wait to graduate. And that's out of grammar school. We go through 4 more years of school. We can't wait to graduate. Then we get through college and we can't wait to graduate. What was the other things in your life that you couldn't wait to? You remember trying to be that preteen and you couldn't wait because you had to be there. You had to be 18. You got to 18. You couldn't wait till you got to 21. You couldn't wait because you wanted to be 25. You couldn't wait till you got to 30 and then 35. And then you wanted to start putting on some brakes. You started having patience between 35 and 40 because you didn't want to wait until you got to 40 years of age. You're like, oh my goodness, my life is now half over, or I'm getting old. But in actuality, what you were gaining was the patience of wisdom, the understanding that things take time, no matter what you put the time into or what you think that time is. As you start looking at your life and you started looking at all of the greatest things that you've ever wanted,
you knew that there was a process. And what was that process? That process began with doing what? Having patience, slowing down. You ever just kind of walk through your neighborhood all the time? Have you ever looked at the beauty that's actually inside of your neighborhood? Most of us have only gone through the block, maybe 2 blocks, but we've never really looked at our neighborhood. We may drive through it most of the time, but we don't have patience enough to wait and see what happens. You get in your car every day, you rush to work. You're storming to work and you get in rush hour traffic and you can't wait because traffic is slowing you down. People are slowing you down. But you're in a hurry to get where? To work. You started your whole day out at home taking time. But all of a sudden you had to speed up and you had to have everything and it was in your way and you got frustrated. Why did you get frustrated? Because you didn't have patience to go through what you wanted. You wanted to get there. You wanted to be there on time, but you didn't want to start out early. You didn't want to take the process that it takes in order to have patience to get to what you want. They have these fast food restaurants out here nowadays, and there's so many fast food restaurants out here. But everybody wants to eat that fast food. They have to have that food right away. Why is it that you can't take time to go down to a sit-down restaurant and wait for a beautiful meal? When that meal comes, that meal that you have waited for, yeah, you may be a little hungry for it because it took a little extra time. But when you started to wait on that one meal, that meal that just turned around and just had that savory flavor all over it, you understood that it was a process to waiting. You had greater satisfaction from waiting to the things that you can have. You know, I looked at the first car that I had to have. And I remember going down to that dealership, and I remember being turned down for the car because the guy said I was there too late and I didn't have the credit. But the car cost $3,800, and I had on me $3,300. And the guy said he was not going to bargain with me for the $200. I couldn't believe that he would not sell me the car. But I didn't have patience enough to, for him to say, listen, let's talk about it. Once he told me no, my patience level changed, and I spent that whole $3,300, and I was 18 years of age. I had to wait another 2 years to save up that type of money during that time to buy my next car. But then I bought that Buick Skylark was my first car, and I finally had a chance to have my very first car, and I thought that that was the best until I wanted a Mercedes. I did not have the money to get it, but I had to learn. It took patience to buy me my first Mercedes, and I enjoyed it. When something that you really want and something that you want to develop, I want you to take time and patience. It's a process to getting the things you want. Having it in a hurry, you don't justify in loving it. You see people who have won the lottery. They've won the biggest jackpots in the lottery, and yet 3 to 5 years they're broke. Because they got it so fast, that quick money, they didn't savor the taste of being able to have it. They didn't want it, they had to have everything. They bought the cars, they bought the house, they bought all the bills that they needed. They bought more and more bills. And at the end of it, they found out that they were broker than they were when they first began because they didn't have patience to learn what to do with the money when they got it. When you have patience, patience is the one thing that will get you everything. Some of the best relationships comes out of patience. Some of the best jobs come out of having patience. Learning how to develop yourself in your personal development, personal growth, and mindset helps when you have patience. Be patient to want all the things. I have a friend of mine who does holistic medicines, and they don't work as fast as what they call the Western medicines because they're not involved with all of the bad ingredients that we have. But if you have patience, you heal yourself better, longer, and actually, most occasions, you get rid of the problems that you had. I'm now working on a tea. It's part of TLC, and I can turn around and tell everybody that. And it's a detox tea. Now, everybody wants to be able to detox overnight, but you took all of these years to tox yourself up with all the bad stuff. But what happens when you take the time to detox? When your body has to clean and your system has to clean up, so that way as you get older, those of you all that have hit your 40s, actually you should have started in your 20s and your 30s. But you start to find out that you need to do more things to clean your system so that your system can work for you. And this is not a commercial. It's just that I had to learn certain things, so I'm sharing it with you. The word today is patience. I had to learn to use all of the patience that I had and all the patience that I have. Even in policing, it takes a lot of patience. And me being a police officer for all those years, I had to learn patience in order to talk with people, have patience in order to catch the criminal, to have patience and to succeed in every area of my life. I'm succeeding now in public speaking. That's why I'm able to come on and do Facebook Lives with you, because I had to get past my fears of being able to talk to you for a couple moments. But I am past that fear. I'm looking for my new challenge. And as my new challenge comes aboard, I am having patience in order to learn how to work that, how to go to my next steps, how to move higher up. If you have patience, you will succeed in all that you want. It's called persistence. Persistence is patience. Look it up. It's basically the same thing. They may change the words, but the meaning is still the same. So I'm still challenging you all to come on and do a Facebook Live. See which one of these words actually matches up with you, how you can actually talk. I love being able to be on this challenge. I've had Susie to come on, and Cheryl to come on, Kathy to come on, Miosha to come on, Queen Gabby to come on, and each one of them have patience in order to do a brand new habit, and they're succeeding. They're succeeding so well. So I challenge you. I have a list of words still on this page, and again, you find the word that comes on with you. You don't necessarily have to do the 14-day challenge, but take the challenge to do a Facebook Live. Pam Smith, I'm calling you out. Vanessa Taylor, I'm calling you out. And some of the words I believe: collaboration, compassion, courage, dedication, grace, gratitude, hope, impact, inspiration, passion, again. I love passion. Patience, possibilities, and strength. I guess today is day 12. It's not day 11. It's day 12 for me. So you all get ready. See what you can do. Challenge yourself. Have patience and believe in yourself. Have the faith, not the fear, that you can achieve anything that you've ever wanted in life. You can listen to me on my podcast at www.unlimitedboundaries.podbean.com. And thank you for coming along with me. I so appreciate you. And anybody that wants to be a part of the personal development team, you can message me here in the comment line, or you can direct message me. And I thank you all for coming along. You all are so brilliant. Have a fantastic weekend. You are some brilliant people, and I enjoy coming in and talking with you and giving you this challenge. And if you're on here with me, tag You're It. Rafaela, I'm still calling you out. I want to see you. Etta, I know that you're there. I'm calling you out because that's fine. Mike, you do it all the time. I'm so proud of you too, Mike, because I love it. Mr. Gordon So, being my coach, mentor, and friend, I enjoy you teaching me brand new habits that are successful in life. You all, stay with me. Be strong. Bye-bye for now. I enjoy doing this Facebook Live for you.
Okay. Now, sometimes Facebook has too many other issues going on, and you're trying to be able to get somebody on camera, and I want to be able to get her just perfectly on camera as my phone decides it wants to act up. Hello, I said, how are you, sir? My camera's not working just yet. Now I'm gonna see. How about like this? I'm just gonna have to do this in a free-flowing way. Let me see if I can add on. I have a special guest today, and I'm going to be able to do an interview with an upcoming author who's on her way to being a best-selling international author, Pinthia. Let me see if I got this right. Pinthia, I sent out the thing to you. Let me see if I can actually bring you on right now. I sent out a request to her. Maybe I have to tag her in. Yeah, she's got the request. The tag is in. Let me see if I can bring her on camera. It's not letting me bring her on camera as of yet. It might. Patricia, can you see me okay? Because I have to ask my partner. My partner normally keeps up with me pretty good as I'm going through. And I tag Pentia. And let's see. She got the invite. Ooh. Got the invite. Hello, Pam. How are you? I'm going to do an interview right quick. I'm just trying to see if I can get my friend on here. And she is not there. Patricia, can you see if you can invite Pentia on your screen, if you can tag her in for me? I don't know why I'm having issues here with Facebook Live. Yeah, she should be here. And please invite me. I did invite Pentia. I tagged her. It was just trying to get Pentia on, and Facebook is having its own mental issues. Pentia, I'm trying to add you, and I don't know what is happening here. I'm so glad to see it hit you well. Reginald is waving. How are you? Pentia, thank you. There we go. I knew in my group of personal development, personal growth, and mindset, we believe in one thing special, and that's always.
Okay,
Hello,
finally.
Pentia. How are you?
Good, thank you so much. Finally, I have you.
Yeah, for some odd reason, Facebook decided that it wanted to give me issues. So I had to make sure that as we're going through issues. But hello to everyone. I am Lester Bailey, and I'd like to introduce you to Pentia Calhort because she is now an author, and she's an international best-selling author. And she has a new book out called Rules of Change, I believe.
Yes, for the better.
For the better. That's right. Rules of Change for the Better. And she's been able to relaunch this book, and it's so amazing. Those of you all that want change in your life, and you have to have some type of special change in your life, you want to see how that comes out. Well, we have someone here. She put out a book just for all of us because some of the things that she's gone through in lifetime has brought her to make an expert in this field. So I'm going to let Miss Pentia tell you a little bit about herself and a little bit about her book. Go ahead, Pentia, please.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Lester, for inviting me to this live chat. My book, as you see, it's about how you can tune up your mood to make big changes in your life. Because sometimes you want a change, but your body and your mind and spirit is not really ready to make a change. So my book can show you some strategies how can your can pave the way for tune up your mood and make the changes in your life. Actually, what happened? I had some accidents in my life, and those accidents were awakening call and made me some injury and back injury and too many problems. But those problems actually made me a stronger person. As you as you solve a problem, then if there is other problems and bigger problems come on your way, you are more ready to act upon solving those problems. So I have some rules in my book. It's 30 rules, starting from initiation, how you can initiate your move and find your change motivation, and then how you can tune up your mood to make yourself ready for these changes. And I have a lot of practical guide and exercises you can apply to do these changes. And then I have action. So you see, I don't jump from the beginning, go to action, because you are not ready to do the action in the beginning, right?
So what were some of the things that brought you to this? How are people seeing the difference of
your expertise in changing things?
Okay, actually, my expertise is is a specialist. I'm a change specialist in IT, and I'm agile coach. So that made me to learn a lot of things about changing, because you know the nature of IT is change. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be adaptable to changes. And sometimes you have a lot of workload and you have to adjust this workload and how you can perform better in those stress and too much work, and how you can actually uh, use your higher potential to make up your mind and perform better. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why for this expertise, and that made me ready to write this book. I'm project manager as well, so I had a lot of IT projects in my hand, and that's why it helped me to write this book. The book is about my life experiences, starting from my childhood and going to Canada and Australia. I lived in Australia for a while and then immigrated to Canada. And those immigration brought me some changes, and I learned a lot from them. Back in my country, I also had some experiences, as many of you done. And this book is about how to learn better and how to perform better, because in some point of your life you have gaps. In those gaps you cannot do anything, you can't do any changes, you can make your mind to do any serious decision. So in those gaps, it's the best way to learn and grow yourself, and the time will arrive someday, because I had this experience. For me, it took me 10 years to immigrate to another country, and
Excuse me, what country did you start off in?
I used to live in Iran.
Okay, because that's kind of important as you're telling the story. You say from my country, and we want to make sure that everybody enjoys the power of this story, because Pentia has such a grand story, and I want you all to really understand why she's thought that the rules for change for the better is so important. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I had to make sure
No
everybody's on
worries.
the same page.
No worries. No, I live in Canada. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Canadian citizen, but I was born in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, Iran, we were in war with Iraq for 8 years. And those years were best years of my childhood, supposed to be peaceful, but was not, because we were in war and those situations were not really good. But
Mm-hmm.
we survived. And the good point is, even if you are in war or disasters, there are some ways you can reduce your stress, and you can still enjoy some things, something like being with the family and appreciate being with them. So those days, I remember we didn't have a stable place to live, because we had
Mm-hmm.
to go from one city to another city, so there was nowhere to live.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we had a good home, but we couldn't live there. So from one place to another place, we moved. So right now I know the value of being stable and live in a peaceful country, and how you can breathe in somewhere that is not polluted as well. I mean, Iran, Tehran especially, is a very busy city as well. It's
Mm-hmm.
nice, it's luxury, but it's very busy. They have a polluted air. But no, living in this peaceful country, it's a really good bless for me.
Well, good. Some of the things that happened to you, I heard a story of another interview with my co-partner, Miss Patricia Lynn Stokes, and she says that you immigrated into Canada And what was that like being an immigrant into Canada? How did that start your life for change?
Okay, good question. Actually, sometimes you feel that you have to leave. That was my decision 10 years before leaving Iran. I
Hmm.
left Iran. I went to Australia between the gaps because I was waiting for immigration to Canada, and then before Canada, I applied for Australia, and I got the admission from university. So I actually fill the gaps by living in Australia for a while. But the second immigration, as I told Patricia, was not really easy. And it
Hmm.
has lots of ups and downs because you settle down somewhere for 3 years and then you go somewhere else, you have to start again. So it's not really easy. It's very challenging, but it was good because I learned a lot in this case. And I learned how I can change my career. How I can improve my skills and experiences to go to higher level in my career. So I was a software engineer in Iran, and then I left the country. In Australia, it was not easy to get the job in the beginning. I was a student, and so I had to have some survival job. But after finishing my study, I could actually work in Atwa University as a researcher, and then come from Australia to Canada. Again, I had to start in dollar store. Like I had to start from
Wow.
survival job. Yeah, but again, I built my skills, learned a lot, and then I got I I taught in college, career
Hmm.
college. So I try to build my career life somehow. After there, I could actually continue my education again to be project manager. So and right now I'm actually trying to build my business as an entrepreneur.
Very good. Let me ask you this, and this is kind of putting you on the hot seat. As in the book that you have out there that you're promoting, and you want the world to go out because this book is going to be found on Amazon, and I'm going to send you all the link as we're finished with this interview. But out of all of the chapters, without telling your whole book, what are some of the chapters in the book that we should really start looking out for?
Okay, I just remember one rule. I really respect this rule.
Hmm.
It's called third solution. Sometime in your life you tried everything, whatever your mind and your brain think,
Hmm.
but you don't find any solution. So you don't know where to start and how you can actually find solution for your problems. And
Hmm.
that at that case, I have some strategies that how you can assist your unconscious mind to find those solutions. So I call it third solution because that solution you cannot see it.
Hmm.
At some point of life, your solution doesn't work. You need something alternative, and those strategies help you to find that alternative. Let's say me, I was waiting for Canada immigration, but
Hmm.
in the middle of the gap, um, by some sequential events, I found uh, how to apply for Australia. I came to Australia, so it's like something miraculously happened to me that I found a way to Australia. It was not planned before. So that's what I call third solution. When I was in Canada, when I was in Australia, I really wished to stay there, but immigration rules changed and I had to leave to Canada. But my immigration to Canada was not started yet. Like I didn't have any process or anything. But
Hmm.
again, at the right time, it happens when my staying in as Australia finished, I had some alternative to go to Australia, to Canada. So it's like a third solution is like something that out of your mind, and there is something that the solution is not there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, and something happened. You can finally see that solution.
So finding solutions in the problem, sometimes you may feel blinded, but there's a way out depending on what you do.
Exactly, yeah.
That's powerful. That's very, very powerful. When we're looking for some things to happen in the right time, and we don't always know what time things are going to happen in, we know that it's divine time that things happen for you. And it's powerful to see that someone who has lived through changes in their life are able to come out and help you for the the rules of change and the betterment for it. I know my camera is jumping a little bit because it won't sit
That's
on
fine.
my stand. But give me something else also, please, inform our listeners here why they're coming out. What are some of the most important things? Give me some of the chapters that they should be looking forward to seeing.
Okay. As I said, I have 3 levels, and starting from initiation to acting, and then I have maturity level. At the last one, at the last chapter, actually, I try to make the change more permanent. Let's say you quit the cigarette. I see a lot of people quit the cigarette, but a few months later, they get back to the habit.
Okay.
So I try to research why people get back to that habit again, even if they know that's not good for them. Or I had a manager, he actually lost weight. He tried hard to lose his weight. It took like 6 months, and he was perfect. But after a few years, he got back to that habit of eating and get back to that weight again. So I try to research why this happened to people, why again they get back to these habits. So in my book, actually, there are some ways, strategies that you can act upon that, and then you can make those permanent changes, not just the temporary one. So you can learn these strategies and make the change more stable.
So it's good to have people finding out that there's a maturity level. You go through a process, and every one of us goes through different processes in our life. I don't know too many people that have tried to break any type of addiction, being if it's eating, smoking, drinking.
Exactly.
We all have to get to a maturity level. And finally, there's a book out there that will help us understand why are we changing, how is change holding us back, or why don't we embrace change?
Exactly. Actually, I try to use lots of research in this book because my background is math and physics, and then I continued my study in university in IT, and then I got my master in IT. So it's kind of science, blended science in my book. A lot of research and science, and I have a lot of proof how we can actually remove those blockers that can't help us to go forward. So let's say you know about the chemistry. In chemistry, we have 7 layers
Right.
for different elements. So starting from the lighter one, and then go to the to metal and heavier one. So the lighter one at the top is so free. It can't go everywhere, and the shape, it doesn't have shape. But the one at the bottom is like metal. It has its own shape. It can't go anywhere. It just stays the way it is. So it's like our body and our spirit. If you want to be free and you want to go to the higher potential, you need to lose some of these heavy things, some of the dependencies that attach to you. So for you to be able to move forward and to remove those blockers, you have to be lighter. And again, I have some strategies how you can be lighter and how you can go forward and with the higher potential. Because sometimes you have a lot of talents. I see a lot of people have too many certifications, but they cannot use them. They can just put them on a frame and put it on the wall. That's it. They can just see it. But you need to discover these talents and use these skills to move forward. For that, you have to remove those blockers on your way. There are lots of margins, like people tell you can't do it. You don't have this ability, or you don't have these talents, but you know what you have, and you have to bring them out. And if you haven't tried anything before, it's not too late. I remember I was a teacher in college, in career college, and all of my students were 50 years over. But I'm really proud of them, because at this age, they had grandkids and they already finished their studies in the past, but they started another studying, another education. And I'm really proud of them, because they could think properly, they could actually apply the experiences inside the education, and they really appreciate what they learn. But so, because I used to teach in childcare, I used to teach in high school and career colleges. So I know the differences between these three, and I actually have a certification in adult training. So that's why one part of my book is about learning, how you can learn faster, how you can learn any languages, or how you can learn different sports. So they can actually go and apply these rules and find their own talents. In any age, doesn't matter which age you are, you can actually learn languages. Because my first language was Farsi, then I had to learn English because I had to survive, and I had to write. Wow. I wanted to do too many things, and I wanted to communicate with people easily. And then I tried to learn Spanish. I know Spanish is a bit easier to learn when you know English, because they have a Latin root, right?
Right.
So I have some strategies how you can learn different languages, or even music. I was not very professional in music. I didn't know anything about notes or anything. But 2007, I started learning violin.
See?
Yeah, you see, your brain had a lot of capacity. So whenever in my job, I need something to learn, or I need a certification, take me like 2 weeks or 2 months, depending on my time. But it's easy for me to get new certification. So I always try to update myself if I need it.
Very good. That is amazing. Anybody that has not already got ready to buy this book, I have no idea why you're not trying to take yourself to the next level. We're always talking about doing things better than you've done before. The one thing that each and every one of us does is age. And when you're aging, you have to find out new levels, especially as Penty says, maturity levels, and how your maturity levels are going to go. So I want everybody to make sure, because again, I'm going to put the link on the page in just a few moments. I want you to go out and buy this book. And if not just for you, buy two. Have one for yourself and someone else who actually needs to find out where they want to go in life to make the rule changes for the better. It's really important to not stand by what you think that you already know. If you must upgrade yourself daily. Don't just sit up there and say, "Ooh, I'll buy the book and I'll put it on the shelf."
someone has gone out and they've studied these plans, they've researched the information for you, so that way you don't have to sit back and wait any longer. If you want to, you're seeing an international best-selling author already, and she's about to become a #2 international best-selling author.
Thank you so much.
You're
Hopefully.
very welcome. No, that's not a hope. What we put out into the universe is actually what we receive.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's what I have visualized. Actually, I'm already #1 new release in few categories. So I may need your support to go and download it. And because I really wish everybody can access this, I still have the low price on $1. So it's not expensive, because my purpose, my purpose is just helping people and share my experiences and just tell them that nothing is impossible. Even if you are in a war, there is a way out. Even if you are aged, there is a way to live better, because doesn't matter, in any age you can learn. Your brain is still active. Don't believe traditional beliefs that saying you cannot learn, and you are age you can learn, because in my experience I see even it's even better when you are aged. You don't have too much distraction. I can see my high school students had lot of distraction. They couldn't concentrate on my teaching, because they wanted to be playful, and they wanted to play with other kids, and they don't want to listen. The only age they could listen were my adult career college. They were awesome. Like they try to concentrate, they try to learn. They knew why they are learning. That's important. Like you go to school because you have to go to school. That's the assignment. Yeah. But you go to college because you invest your money to get something out of it, and use it in your career and make money out of it. That's the difference. That's everybody that is not really late to learn something, and learning is a gateway to better opportunities and better living, and it's so exciting. Like when you learn something, whenever I feel my brain is dead, or I don't have something exciting, I learn new thing. So I pick up something, or pick up a new course. So every time I'm learning, and try to empower my brain. Even if right now I'm taking care of my baby, she's 11 months old, and I'm home, staying at home, taking care of her. But I'm trying to learn and trying to make my business. So whenever I have free time, I'm just trying to be active. And right now I'm actually writing this book.
Well, everybody, make sure that you go out. Add your excitement in your life. Learn the reason why change is so important into your life.